ever hit this land. Ride those candles, ride that run, long it to the highs, yeah, chase that sun. Short it to the lows when the tide starts to set. This could be the best 8 seconds, yeah, yeehaw. I'm the trading cowboy, giddy up, catch that momentum, boy. Charts look wild, I just grin. One more trade, let the rodeo begin.
When the market gets wild, only one man rides it, the trading cowboy.
Boots on the floor, screen lights glow. Chart like an up and roll, get it up, let's go. I'm the trading cowboy, stocks are my thing, and Q on the dashboard, hear that bell ring. Bear flags, bull flags, I rope and I brand. This could be the best 8 seconds ever hit this land. Ride those candles, ride that run, long it to the highs, yeah, chase that sun. Short it to the lows when the tide starts to set. This could be the best 8 seconds, yeah, yeehaw. I'm the trading cowboy, giddy up, catch that momentum, boy. Charts look wild, I just grin. One more trade, let the rodeo begin.
What is up, Outlaws? TC in the house. How's everything going, guys? Anybody miss me this morning? Anybody? Nobody? All right, that's cool. That's cool. I get it. I know H-Town didn't miss me. Thank goodness. That'd be weird. Isaiah, what's up, Isaiah? How did the meeting go? It went good, guys. I'll have more updates in just a little bit. I'll know a little bit more tomorrow, but all I can say is we're in, fellas. That's all I can say. There's a guitar guy. I appreciate it. Probably one of the most stressful couple meetings I could have had. So. Big things are coming, I promise. We're with y'all's help, we're doing large things, that's for sure. Isaiah, did you catch that trade this morning? I did, man. Congratulations. 1,700 bucks, huh? I watch you. I'm watching you. We'll be getting big enough pretty soon. You'll be trading one of the sessions for us. Come on, Isaiah. Guitar guy. I was in a meeting. I was cursing the ES, but good things must come to an end, sadly. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's up, Miguel? Let's go, buddy. Yeah, guys. So good overall. Started the day off. Didn't get a lot of trading in this morning, trying to get everything ready and set up, but it was kind of crazy there for a while, huh? Mark should be here in a little bit, I think. He texted me. Yeah, I was hollering for y'all whenever it hit that high. I was hollering for y'all to short that sucker, but y'all couldn't hear me. So I was right in the meeting and I was looking up at the chart and got that good 160, 70 point drop. And now we're just kind of consolidating a little bit, huh? Just kind of chop city. See how straight we can do that. I don't want an alert. May get a little bit boring right now until we break out of this little zone right here, huh? That's kind of what I'm watching. All right, let's get some music set up, and then I got to get a couple other things set up. So I'm going to need the chat to run this show for just a little bit. Come on. I'm going to need y'all to get with me and holler if there's something good going on. We need H-Town up here. Let's see. Let's shuffle this a little. Miguel's targeting 240. So you think the short, right? I like that, Miguel, especially if we could break out of that channel right there. I mean, I'm going to call this a channel. I mean, we could we could draw us a little pennant. Um, I don't know if it's really a pennant though. I mean, to the top side, yeah, 290 to 315. Yeah, for sure. If we drew it from the top, not going to be anything good. Would be like that right now. And the bottom would kind of be like this. I want to go to that bottom there, but you kind of need the bottom here. If we did that one, that would kind of give you more, but see, it kind of broke below it and held. And if we didn't do that one there, we could do this one here. Let's see if that gives us a better, yeah, there you go. See, those tops align that way. Maybe something like that, but that's not a real good pennant with that break below so low. Pretty good push. I thought we were going to get a little run at that there.
Coffee gone cold on a desk lamp glow. Boots on the floor, but I don't leave home.
There's some tunes. Finally got it figured out.
Every tick bucking like it's sealing my fate. Got scars from the summers, the rally ran wild. Bears at the door, bulls acting like a child. They call me crazy, but I call it art and cute. Not for the faint of heart. Fearless in the face of the NASDAQ, riding that screen like a wild Mustang. Volatility is my playground. I saddle that storm and I yank on the reins. I don't chase moves, I catch them. I wait in the weeds till the price comes to me. One shot, infinite possibilities. This country as it gets for a cowboy like me.
I probably should have caught that right off that 315 touch.
Mama says, son, that ain't real land, but I'm staking out lines on a 5-minute span. Green, red candles like a ballroom fight. I'm calm as a preacher on a Saturday night. Gotta stop like a holster tied to my side. Wrist small, aim tall, let the wrist all right. If it hits my level, I play my part in cue. Not for the faint of heart. Fearless in the face of the NASDAQ, riding that screen like a wild Mustang. Volatility is my playground. I saddle that storm and I yank on the reins. Don't chase moves, I catch them. I wait in the weeds till the price comes to me. One shot, infinite possibilities. This country as it gets for a cowboy like me. Maybe it's luck, maybe it's skill, maybe it's just stubborn will. But I'll be here till the closing bell's gone.
Our guy said he finally figured it out. He's going to start trading ES. I like the smoother moves, especially on the 2000 tick.
In the face of the NASDAQ,
Yeah, I mean, ES does have a lot smoother calm. I mean, it's a little bit more, right, per contract, but
and I yank on the reins. I don't chase moves
and that's why we watch it so much right now.
till the price comes.
I mean, that's what's on my, usually that's what's on my trading view.
Hardcore country in this day trader scene.
And that's why, if you notice too, I mean, ES just broke out of its opening rain box. Here's a good push. How far is that push going to go?
Coffee cup ring on a legal path. Sun just climbing past the barn roof line. Ticker rolling like a freight train past, but I'm just watching, giving it time. Call mine, fast market. That's the deal I made with you. I don't chase, I don't panic. Just do what I came here to do. Detach from the outcome. Focus on the setup, like planting rows and trusting rain will come. Patience pays more than entries, like waiting on a harvest you can't rush. The chart is neutral.
Well, I just briefly popped up that little area right there at 30, at 48, just because that was the top of these wicks over here, and it rejected right off of it.
Used to white knuckle every red line, heart on fire with every little tick. Now I breathe like I'm out on the back porch swing. Let the fear fade slow, let the noise run thin.
Yeah, if I wouldn't have blown my account earlier this morning, I wouldn't have riding that long right now. Yeah, I know it. And once it broke out over that, I mean, that was a good confirmation. like to see it come retest like the 340 area, then maybe try to short it. Didn't want to just grab it right there at that top.
Some folks want the glory before they learn the ground. I just read my story and every tick up, every pull back down. Detached from the outcome, focus on the setup like planting rows and trusting rain will come. Patience pays more than in trees, like waiting on a harvest you can't rush. The chart is neutral, the trader must be to master yourself.
I don't know.
Then master
I want to just pull the trigger, but after a 3-day weekend, it all it changes everything, doesn't it?
sun up glow on a ticker screen, coffee gone cold, ice still keen, charts lined up like a cattle drive. I wrote that move, make the numbers fly. Red turns green in a blank, blank, blank. Heartbeats count down, don't even think. Fast hands dance on a worn out mouse. This little desk is my glass walled house. Ride the NASDAQ, hanging on tight. Master the momentum, lightning in the night. Sharp my swing where the wild winds blow. Turning all that whiplash into solid gold. Trade the future on the moment under these.
Nice push off the 21. Guitar guy, I'm glad you're using those EMAs, buddy. That makes me proud.
That's how this cowboy rolls. Stop loss set like a
It's still pushing pretty good too on the 5-minute.
fear the fail. Storm blows in from the afternoon. I hear that bell. Gotta move real soon. Tick by tick, feel the old world fade. New frontier in the moves I made. Desk
I mean, this could be a nice little inversion. I was kind of looking at the short, but this may be the inversion play right here to get over this 50 area maybe.
sharp my swing where the wild winds blow. Turning all that whiplash into solid gold. Trade the future on the moment under these neon halos. Precision in the chaos. Yeah, that's how this cowboy rolls.
Let's see if this holds above 30s. If it pops back above the 30s, I'll try along.
Some boys chase dust on an open plane. I chase that spike in a driving rain. Different saddle, same worn boots. I gamble my time on tomorrow's route. Oh yeah, ride the NASDAQ, hanging on tight. Master the momentum, lightning in the night. Sharp mind swing where the wild winds blow. Turning all the whiplash into solid gold. Trade the future on the moment under these neon halos. Precision in the chaos. Yeah, that's how this cowboy rolls. That's how this cowboy rolls. Coffee gone cold on a desk lamp glow. Boots on the floor, but I don't leave home. Watching that open like a rodeo gate. Every tick bucking like a seal in my fate. Got scars from the summers the rally ran wild. Bears at the door, bulls acting like a child. They call
All right, it entered me in right there. Let me
hard and cute. Not
got to break above. Got to get above those 50s for this to work good. No push. She's trying, but all right. I kind of like that little wick down right there. I probably should have added into that. Let's see how this plays, though. Should get a little good push right now. ES is still pushing. NVIDIA is trying, but nothing exciting. VIX is just a huge bear flag if you squint a little bit. I had to fix my ATM loss. I had it so tight, I'd get stopped out before I was able to make a move that I was looking for. Yeah, and I mean, you either need to do that, guitar guy, or size down a little bit, right? I mean, I don't think there's a problem. A lot of stuff I was researching this weekend and going back and playing over. I was literally just looking at, okay, if I would have went in with 5 micros instead of, one mini, I could have saved that account. So keep that in mind for sure. Same if you're playing ES, right? Oh yeah, 1 minute with 3 points. Yeah, and it's not as brutal, right? But I mean, ES, I still think you got to have a little bit bigger stop. I mean, just this candle right here is a little over 3 points. But yeah, like some of the moves ES made this morning. Wow, I mean, that one candle we got on NQ, 34 points. If this thing would go, man, it just keeps. I don't like that right there. But I kind of want to see 370. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of right there. After we couldn't get over that 345 area. I'm going to give this just a little bit, see if we can get back up to 330. Just so I can get out, and we're going to turn around, I think. We'll see how it acts at this 5320 area.
Push through the lows, break through these EMAs. Take me lower with those bulls today. Push those candles down. I'm on NQ. Let's go now. Let's ride it all the way to the bottom. Break that VWAP on down. Come on down. Push those candles down. Red wave running through this town. Yes, around. Let's ride it all the way to the bottom. Break that VWAP. Come on down. Come on down. Come on down. Push through the highs, bust through these EMAs. Take me higher, beat these bass. Push those candles, get up there. Come on and get it up, yeah. Let's ride it all the way.
See if we can't get a little bounce right there. I just added one into it. Didn't quite catch it at the 50, but
Boots on the disc, coffee ring on the blotter. Sun ain't up yet, but I'm hunting for dollars. Got my hat tip low, screen glow hitting my eyes. Little heat in my cheeks as the future starts to rise. Charts look like canyons, red dust on the line. I'm roping in those breakouts, one tick at a time. Finger on the trigger, heart on the wire, every little flicker feeds that fire. Hey! Push NASDAQ, push those candles green, let's rip, let's ride, you know what I mean. Kick that open, widescreen saloon, yeah, we shout you hard to the moon. High speed horses on a fiber trail, clicking these trees like we're chasing tail. Push NASDAQ.
oh, look at that push down. That's the one I didn't want to happen. Let's see if it turns around now. Hey, Mark, my friend. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. We were doing real good till this took a little dump on us just now. Well, a while ago, actually. We've been in for quite a while, but we're fixing to get out of this. Oh my God. Look at that. All right, guitar guy. We'll see you in a second. I almost blew 2 evals. I'm getting close on this one right here, I tell you. I'm fixing to get out of it, but what is going on? Getting violent. I was trying to get out of it a while ago to turn around, and H-Town says Trump in 5 minutes. All right, I'm going to get out right there as it drops through that low. Try to save some of this account. I'm trying to pass these 2 evals, so I will be hanging out with you this afternoon. Let's go, Mark. Heck yeah. I mean, the only thing I'm thinking right now is where to get in short now. I mean, I want to try to catch this thing and try to ride it long, but let me go see if I can find.
Coffee cup ring on a legal pad. Sun just climbing past the barn roof line. Tickers rolling like a freight train past. But I'm just watching.
I need to build one so we can have the news and everything on there.
Fast market. That's a deal I made with you. I don't chase, I don't panic. Just do what I came here to do. Detach from the outcome. Focus on the setup. Like planting rows and trusting rain.
See if I can do that real quick while we're waiting.
Patience pays more than entries. Like waiting on a harvest you can't rush. The chart is neutral. The trader must be too. Master yourself. Then master the NQ. Used to white knuckle every red line. Heart on fire with every little tick. Now I breathe like I'm out on the back porch swing. Let the fear fade slow. Let the noise run thin. Calm hands on the mouse now. Just a plan and a time of day. If it comes around. If it don't, I still walk away. Detach from the outcome. Focus on the setup. Like planting rows and trusting rain will come. Patience pays more than entries. Like waiting on a harvest you can't rush. The chart is neutral. The set up, like planting rows and trusting rain will come. Patience pays
Looks
more
like a little bear flag forming right there, kind of, doesn't it, guys?
you can't rush. The chart is neutral, the trader must be too. Master yourself, then master the NQ. Coffee cup ring on a legal path. Sun just climbing past the barn roof line. Ticker rolling like a freight train past, but I'm just watching, giving it time. Calm mind, fast market. That's the deal.
Beautiful
I
bear
made
flag
with
play out right there.
I don't chase,
Couldn't
I
ask for
don't
much better.
panic, just do what I came here to do. Detach from the outcome, focus on the setup, like planting rows and trusting rain will come. Patience pays more than entries, like waiting on a harvest you can't rush. The chart is neutral, the trader must be to master yourself, then master the NQ. Used to white knuckle every red line, heart on fire with every little tick. Now I breathe like I'm out on the back porch swing. Let the fear fade slow, let the noise run thin. Calm hands on the mouse now, just a plan and a time of day. If it comes around. If it don't, I still walk away. Detach from the outcome, focus on the setup, like planting rows and trusting rain.
Wow, what a dump.
Pays more than entries, like waiting on
You catch any of that, Mark? I know you did.
neutral. The trader must be to master yourself, then master the NQ. Some folks want the glory before they learn the ground. I just read my story, and every tick up, every pull back down. Detach from the outcome, focus on the setup, like planting rows and trusting rain will come. Patience pays more than entries, like waiting on a harvest you can't rush. The chart is neutral, the trader must be to master yourself, then master the NQ.
Should get a little bounce right here. Let's see how big it is, though.
Boots on the floor, screen lights glow, chart like an open road. Giddy up,
Not a great little pop. Right up to the 9, so all the shorts are still in play for sure. All the EMAs are spread way far apart. I'm kind of thinking it could come up here to the 87, 88s. I'd be surprised if it gets up here to the 95s unless he says something really good.
Websites your competitors don't want you to know.
There's a little push again. Seems like that's holding up fairly decent right there. Let's see if this works. Trying to figure it out, guys. Trying to figure it out.
To make a decision. I ordered the U.S. Armed Forces to do whatever.
All right, let's make sure it's not too loud.
Because we could have ended up with 100 dead as opposed to 1 or 2. It's a hard decision to make. But in the United States military, we leave no American behind. We don't do it. Within
Can you hear
hours,
that
our
okay?
armed forces deployed 21 military aircraft into hostile airspace, many flying at very low altitude, being shot by bullets. You bring rifles into play when you're going that low, but there are also certain advantages. And in broad daylight over Iran for 7 hours, at times facing very, very heavy enemy fire. We have a helicopter that's got a lot of bullets in it. It's amazing. We just realized how good those weapons are. Those our machines are. Nobody has the equipment that we have, and nobody has the military that we have. Not even close. We're the most powerful military anywhere in the world by far. The flight crews and warfighters aboard those aircraft took extraordinary risks to rescue their fellow service members. This first wave of search and rescue forces successfully located the pilot of the F-15, and he was extracted from enemy territory by an HH-60 Jolly Green II helicopter. Fabulous machine as our warriors faced gunfire at very close range. It's amazing that when you look at the machinery, what happened, that nobody was even injured. Meanwhile, the second crew member, a weapons system officer, highly respected colonel, had landed a significant distance away from the pilot. When you're going at those speeds, even if you go out 2 or 3 seconds later, it's miles and miles away because you're going fast. He was injured quite badly and stranded in an area teeming with terrorists from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps rough group, as well as besieged militia and local authorities. Many, on top of everything else, they told the communities actually within side of Iran, the people of Iran, they were given a tremendous incentive to find this pilot. Despite the peril, the officer followed his training and climbed into the treacherous mountain terrain and started climbing toward a higher altitude, something they were trained.
You, just you, building your app on base 44.
They want to always go as far away from the site of the shoot down. You want to go as far away because they all head right to that site. You want to be as far away as you can. And he was injured, and he was an amazing, amazing thing. He scaled cliff faces, bleeding rather profusely, treated his own wounds, and contacted American forces to transmit his location. They have a very sophisticated beeper-type apparatus that is on them at all times. And when they go out on these missions, they make sure they have lots of battery space, and they're in good shape. And this one worked really well, amazingly, saved his life. We immediately mobilized a massive operation to retrieve him from the mountain holdout, and he kept going higher and higher. The mountain kept getting rougher and rougher, and really very, very hard to find.
There's a little bonus.
The second rescue mission involved 155 aircraft, including 4 bombers, 64 fighters, 48 refueling tankers, 13 rescue aircraft, and more. We were bringing them all over, and a lot of it was subterfuge. We wanted to have them think he was in a different location because they had a vast military force out there. Thousands of people were looking. So we wanted them to look in different areas, so we were scattered all over like we were right on top of them. We had 7 different locations where they thought, and they were very confused. They said, well, wait a minute, they've got groups here, they've got groups there. It's an amazing thing. I was listening to these great people, these great generals. General Raisin Kane was amazing, and Pete Hegseth was amazing. But I listened to the whole thing. It was pretty amazing. So they had all these different sites where everybody thought he was located. We think we have him over there because they have 9 planes circling
With
a
a
little
little
area.
bear flag, maybe?
That's 25 miles down the coast. So in a breathtaking show of skill and precision, lethality and force, America's military descended on the area, the real area, engaged the enemy, rescued the stranded officer, destroyed all threats, and exited Iranian territory while taking no casualties of any kind. The heroic F-15 weapon system officer had evaded capture on the ground in Iran for almost 48 hours. That's a long time when you're in tough shape and when you're bleeding. It's a long time. When we left, as you probably know, we had 2 large planes, pretty old planes that carried a lot. We needed a lot more equipment going in than coming out, obviously, because going in, we needed to be able to scale mountains, and we had a lot of equipment. But the sand was sandy, wet sand, so we thought there may be a problem taking off because of the weight of the plane, and then we also had all the men jumping back onto the planes, and they got pretty well bogged down, and we had a contingency plan, which was unbelievable, where lighter, faster aircraft came in, and they took them out. We blew up the old planes. We blew them up to smithereens because we had equipment on the planes that, frankly, we'd like to take, but I don't think it was worthwhile spending another 4 hours there
The
taking it off.
smithereens,
So
he
we
says.
didn't want anybody to have. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. We didn't want anybody examining our anti-aircraft and other equipment. So these were large planes that were old and pretty old, and we blew them up. And we had faster, lighter planes come in, and they were able
This
to
gonna
land
short
on the
right
sand.
here?
We needed the bigger planes because
It's
we had
gonna
so
be the
much
short?
equipment that we needed. We took 3 helicopters over there, which were very strongly used and couldn't have lived without them. They performed unbelievably well. And if you'd see it, you wouldn't believe it. They came off the plane, and these guys had them. The rotors were off. They rebuilt these helicopters in less than 10 minutes. And that was one of the more amazing things. These are helicopters, small, unbelievably powerful, but small, very small, so it can get into certain areas. And they got them off the plane, and they rebuilt all 3 of them in a matter of I would say less than 10 minutes. It's pretty amazing what the genius of these people. Who would think that? You'd think it would take 5 days to build them. And in some companies, it would take 5 days, and they wouldn't do it well. But they served us well. As Commander-in-Chief, I never forget the extraordinary risk taken by the warriors that we send into battle, and the genius. I mean, think of it, having a contingency of 3 planes waiting because we think the sand is so bad that we probably won't be able to take off. And the planes really got bogged. This was not much of a runway. This was a farm, not a runway. It's a farm, but it did the trick. But to have a contingency as opposed to having to wait 2 days, can you imagine right in the middle? This was central. This was right, you would call it central casting if you were doing a movie for location. And probably the toughest area of Iran where we'd be sitting there. So these planes came in, those pilots came in so fast and so quick and got out of there. Everybody got aboard and just got 15-minute intervals. 1 load out, 1 load out, 1 load out. It happened, and we were watching, and we said, "That's amazing." In many ways, I was almost more impressed by the contingency that we had than the fact that if we would have had a runway or decent soil. But it was an amazing thing.
Prakash,
We
what's
thank
up, buddy?
God
Good
for
to see
every
you here.
single one of them. And the talent.
Doing
the
good.
genius. It's
Just
not
watching
even talent,
old
it's genius.
Mr. Trump.
The whole ball game, every one of them. If you look at what we did with Maduro, we went into a military compound, a massive, with thousands and thousands of soldiers, and within a matter of minutes, and he lived behind iron doors. There were steel doors, broke them down so quickly, and within almost minutes, he was in the back of these planes. It was a similar group. Incredible. We have incredibly talented people. And if the time comes, we move heaven and earth to bring them home safely.
Well,
We're gonna
good deal,
bring our
Akash. I'm
people
glad
home
you're here.
safely.
I decided to turn it
I wanna
on when the
thank
market
every
started
member of the
dumping a
U.S.
second
Armed
ago.
Forces involved in these historic operations. They really were historic. It's just not something that's done. And you'd understand it. Not that they don't want to do it, but when you're going into areas, when you look at these helicopters, when you look at the amount of bullets and everything else that they took, when you go into these areas, you don't come out like we came out. God was watching us. Tell you, well,
I'm thinking they're trying to keep it
was
up
the
here right here,
Easter-
but they're also
we
trying
were
to
in the Easter territory,
make it look like
I
a nice
guess,
little
but
bear
God
flag.
was watching us. Amazing, because when you look at the machinery, they took damage. Tells
Yeah,
you,
I think you're
first thing
right,
said is,
Akash. I
these are
mean, and
unbelievable
right now, I
machines, how
mean,
they
I
flew
definitely don't
back
want to be
and
pushing on the
not
long
even
right
much
here,
of a
but
problem.
it looks
But
better on the
these two
5 minute with no
extraordinary
wick at the top.
rescues, 'cause
But
it was two, and
the
as
1
you
minute looks
probably
like a
know,
bear
we didn't
flag,
talk
right?
about the first one for an hour, and then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker, and talked about there's somebody missing. They
Good deal,
basically
guitar
said
guy.
that we have one, and there's somebody
I don't
missing.
blame you.
Well,
That's
they
what I
didn't know
did a
there
while
was
ago. I
somebody
ate right
missing
here
until
live
this
in front of
leaker
you
gave the
guys.
information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out, because we're going to go to the media company that released it, and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail. And we know who. And
You're
you
right,
know who we're
Akash.
talking
Yeah, I
about.
mean, to me, it
Some
looked like
things
the
you can't
short's
do,
going to be a
because
for
when they
sure
did
deal.
that,
I'm going
all
to
of a
wait and see what
sudden,
it gets up
the
right here at
entire
the 80s,
country of
maybe right
Iran
here,
knew that
you
there
know,
was
when
a
it hits the
pilot that
50
was
on the
somewhere
1
on their
minute.
land that was fighting for his life.
I guess that's
And
the
it also
200
made
and
it
the
much
9
more
on a 5
difficult
minute. So
for
to me, that looks like a
the
good place
pilots
to
and for the
try.
people going in to search for him. All of a sudden,
And but we
they
need to
know
wait for
that there's somebody
confirmation.
out
But
there. They see all these planes coming in.
that's
It
one of my weaker
became a much
skills
more
is waiting.
difficult operation, because a leaker leaked that we have one, we've rescued one, but there's another one out there that we're trying to get. So actually, the country, Iran, put out a major notice, you all saw it, offering a very big award for
All
anybody
right, I may
that
give it a shot
captures
right
the
there if it
pilot.
pushes back
So in
under the
addition
50.
to a
We'll
hostile,
try to catch it right there,
very
maybe.
talented, very good, very evil military, we had
Let's see
millions
how
of
serious
people
they are with this
trying
pump.
to get an award. So when you add that to it, but we have to find that leaker, because that's a sick person. Probably didn't realize the extent of how
Let me see
bad
if
it
it gets
was. I
to
can't
89
imagine
and pulls
that
back.
person did, but we're going to find out. It's national security, and the person that did the story will go to jail if he doesn't say, and that doesn't last long, and I think everybody would understand it. They put this mission at great risk. They put that man at great risk, and they put the hundreds of
Yeah,
people
you're right
that
about
went
that,
in
Akash. Look
looking
at that,
for him,
guys.
because everyone now
Nice,
knows
beautiful,
that
bullish
we're
candle, big
going
old
in.
wick.
Over the past 37 days, America's armed forces have carried out more than 10,000 combat flights over Iran, unheard of, striking more than 13,000 targets. The F-15 we lost last week was the first manned aircraft down by
That
the
pivot
enemy
point at 220
in
was
this
golden,
entire
though, right?
operation,
I mean,
with thousands and thousands
perfect
of flights.
support.
He got lucky. It was a lucky hit. You know, eventually you get lucky. But we got lucky too, because we got both of them
even
back.
the 15. Look at
But
the
it's a
15
record
pump.
that is unparalleled in the history of military air operations. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's such an honor to be involved with it. We were up late at night, and then we were waiting for those contingent planes to come in, and we say, come on, let's go, get in, because they're waiting out on this farm without a
Dang,
runway.
there's a nice short one. I don't have an
Wet.
eval. I know it. That's all. That's when it makes the exact right move.
Wet sand, and it eats planes alive. And we're waiting, and we're saying, I hope that one can land and take off. And they came in like magic. Boom, 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 one after another. It was like genius. I'm so impressed by that. Because we were a little concerned. We said, boy, if they don't get in and get up fast, we're sitting in them. And that's called Iran Prime, right, General? That's where the whole bet is. And here we are sitting there waiting for a plane. But they came in so fast and so hard, and these guys knew exactly what to. Let's go, come on, get in, let's go. Bwah. They came one right after another, not at the same time. They don't want to come at the same time. They had to come right after each other. They didn't have any room. There was
Nice
barely
looking
any
V
room to
recovery
land.
going on though.
Tiny little patch of very wet.
Here comes the commercial again. Hold on.
Steve Witkoff's over here. He's doing fantastically. Jared Kushner. But the people that are here, the job they did is amazing. And I think I'm going to introduce the head of the CIA, and he is a man who, he's central casting, okay?
Right,
If we
just
cast
the
a movie,
pullback.
he's going to play the head of the CIA. He's one of the few. John Ratcliffe, he did a phenomenal job that night. He did something that I don't know if you want to talk about it. If you want, you can. I'm not sure you're supposed to. I'm not going to talk about it. But the CIA was very responsible for finding this little speck. It's like they used an expression on one of the shows. A general was talking about, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, finding this pilot. And the CIA was unbelievable. And you may, if you can, you'll talk. It might be classified, in which case I'd have to put him in jail if he talks about it. And I don't want to put him in jail. He doesn't deserve that. So, John, do you want to say a few words? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a privilege to be here with you today to share what we can about this exceptional mission and to recognize the ingenuity and bravery of those who executed it, as well as the leadership and
Nice little
resolve
push right
of the
there.
President who ordered it. One thing that has been clear to me in this role is that the
Is that the push for
flawless
the dump?
military
There's the
operations
200.
that
Let's
the
see how it
Department
acts.
of War is known for are hostage to flawless intelligence. We saw that
Getting a
in
little
the
wiki,
skies
guys.
over Iran in Operation
Bulls are
Midnight
trying to
Hammer
hold
last
it.
summer. We
Who's gonna
witnessed it in
win?
Venezuela during Operation Absolute Resolve. We've seen it against the cartels in the Western Hemisphere, and we're seeing it every day in Operation Epic Fury, including this mission to rescue an aviator buried deep behind enemy lines. Because it is the unique tradition of the U.S. Armed Forces that we leave no man or woman behind, this was a no-fail mission. That was the spirit in which the President put us to work, and we were determined not to let him down or our airmen down.
I've noticed one thing when Trump
As an
talks about
agency,
Iran in the last few, the market starts pushing upward, maybe because he always saying negotiations with Iran. Yeah, I think so. And then it
fall under covert action authorities.
kind of shows the strength
And
of the
because
U.S.
covert
too.
means
So
exactly that,
some of the investors and stuff
I'm
kind of
not
get
going to be able
excited
to
that,
tell you everything that you want to know.
you know, kind of how powerful we are. And
At the President's direction, we deployed both human assets and exquisite technologies that no other intelligence
that's why he
service
was
in the
talking
world
about the
possesses, to a
helicopters and
daunting
how fast we
challenge
are.
comparable to hunting for a single grain of sand in the middle of a desert. This was also a race against the clock, as it was critical that we locate the downed aviator as quickly as possible, while at the same time keeping our enemies misdirected. For that reason, in addition to the human and technical assets deployed by the President to find our airmen, CIA executed a deception campaign to confuse the Iranians who were desperately hunting for our airmen. On Saturday morning, we achieved our primary objective
Y'all
by
tell me when you're
finding
tired of listening.
and
to
providing
that. I'll turn it off.
confirmation that one of America's best and bravest was alive and concealed in a mountain crevice, still invisible to the enemy, but not to the CIA. That confirmation was relayed by Secretary Hegseth to the President, and the operation quickly moved to the execution phase. Following the successful exfiltration on Saturday night, our intelligence reflects that the Iranians were embarrassed and ultimately humiliated by the success of this audacious rescue mission. When the President asked me to lead the CIA, he made it clear: get back to basics, no politics, no agendas, tackle the hardest problems, and execute the toughest missions. This President is about results, and now that's what his CIA is about too. The professionals at the agency and at the Department of War deserve immense credit for their flawless execution during this daring mission. Their skill, creativity, and courage are unmatched on the battlefield wherever they step. But none of that matters. And all of that is wasted without a president with the political courage to put them into action. Mr. President, I've had the privilege of seeing you act with political courage in the best interest of the United States up close on a daily basis, and I'm grateful.
I'm not real good at calculating the points on ES, but that short was massive on a 2000 tick
into
chart.
that as well.
Oh yeah, I bet so.
The Secretary and Chairman will tell you that our service members' confidence is boosted by a Commander-in-Chief who has their back the same way they have yours. And I know that the confidence of CIA's officers is boosted by the knowledge that their work is
Nice little bull flag playing out on the 1 minute.
Not afraid to make the hardest decisions.
Got that pivot point right there at 313.
And to the American people, your confidence should be boosted by knowing that the security of the nation is in the hands of a president who's willing to take on problems that have confounded both sides of the political aisle.
That was the bull flag breakout
for nearly half a century.
Still pushing.
It is an honor to serve under a leader who just proved that you can believe him when he says, no matter what, we will leave no one behind. We will come for you. Thank you.
Mark got caught shorting late and almost blew up my eval again. I know it. I keep thinking, should I catch this right here?
Well, John, thank you for the collaboration of the CIA as well. Incredible and ongoing partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Americans, and especially the brave warriors in our armed forces, over this Easter weekend, the United States military has once again proved why we possess.
I kind of like the short right here at this pivot point, but I don't want to just jump into it. I'd rather get a good confirmation, get a
combat search
good
and
red
rescue
candle.
Operations deep inside enemy territory in Iran. Our warriors executed missions of breathtaking skill, courage, and precision. When our warriors are unleashed, as this president has allowed them to be, they are unstoppable.
Although I do like it, but we'll see.
When American airmen were down behind enemy lines, our forces and our president did not hesitate. Special operators supported by elite air crews and intelligence professionals moved swiftly and decisively into treacherous mountain terrain under the constant threat of Iranian forces closing in. Ultimately, it was an impotent Iranian threat. And today, as the CIA director mentioned, Iran's military, and we know this, is embarrassed and humiliated, and they should be. Now, these are not routine operations. They were high-risk, high-stakes missions conducted in the heart of enemy territory. This was not just barely into Iran, this was deep into Iran, involving coordinated strikes to suppress threats, deception tactics to protect our teams, and full synchronization across air, ground, and special operations. The Iranians are still asking themselves right now, how did the Americans do this? One downed airman evaded capture for more than a day, scaling rugged ridges.
I think so, Miguel. I'm trying to catch it a little, see if it wicks up a little bit higher.
He was finally able to
I'm looking at
activate
it short
his
for
emergency
sure.
transponder. His first message was simple, and it was powerful.
On one of my accounts,
Sent
I'm
a
already
message,
in. But
God is good. In that moment of isolation and danger, his faith and fighting
Guess I could
spirit
switch it there. Give me
shone
just a-
through. You see, shot down on a Friday, Good Friday, hidden in a cave,
oh, look at that!
crevice, all of Saturday,
Look at that!
and rescued on Sunday.
Y'all see that?
Flown out
Pump?
of Iran as the sun was rising on Easter Sunday. A pilot reborn, all home and accounted for, a nation rejoicing. God is good. Despite incoming fire and unforgiving conditions, our troops brought every American home. No American lives were lost. We leave no man behind, and that is not luck. It's the result of
No
unmatched
reason, really.
training, superior technology, an unbreakable warrior ethos, and sheer American grit. Our special operators, pilots, and support crews performed with near perfection under fire, and they were lethal. Just ask any Iranian soldier who dared attempt to get anywhere near that pilot before or during that mission. Death from above. Our troops turned a potential tragedy into a resounding demonstration of American resolve and capability. That's what excellence in uniform looks like. But make no mistake about it. None
It'll
of
probably
this
wick me right back
would have been
out.
possible without the courageous leadership and ironclad determination of President Donald J. Trump. From the moment our airmen went down, President Trump made it clear we will leave no one behind. The first mission, the first of two, was an audacious daylight thunder run right up the middle. It was authorized in less than 2 hours from that pilot going down when we knew where he was. And it was authorized in the middle of the night because anybody that's worked for this man knows he's up in the middle of the night. Authorized immediately, without hesitation, audaciously. The second mission, as soon as we knew where that pilot was, and John was certainly helpful in that, also executed immediately. You know, I looked up at my screen when the final mission was complete inside our SCIF, our secure facility. And we have a running VTC, a running coordination cell. And the top of it read 45 hours and 56 minutes. For 45 hours and 56 minutes, we held that call open for coordination. From the moment our pilots went down, our mission was unblinking. The call never dropped, the meeting never stopped, the planning never ceased. The president demanded rapid, decisive action. He backed our military with the full weight of his resolve, refusing to let enemy propaganda or tactical setbacks deter us. His leadership ensured that every lethal and non-lethal resource was brought to bear, that our forces had the authorities and the support they needed to succeed. When the president says he has the backs of our warfighters, he means it. And it means a great deal, and it's a big difference on the battlefield. President Trump understands that peace through strength is not a slogan. It is a doctrine that saves American lives. His unwavering commitment to rebuilding our military and restoring the warrior spirit has paid dividends in missions just like this one. Under his command, America.
There we go. There's a little push down. Keep riding, guys. Keep riding. Let me get this commercial.
Volume of strikes since day one of this operation. Tomorrow, even more than today. And then Iran has a choice.
Don't bounce.
Choose wisely, because this president does not play around. You can ask Soleimani, you can ask Maduro, you can ask Khomeini. To those heroes who planned and executed these rescues, your nation stands in awe. I stand in awe. The chairman stands in awe. We all stand in awe of your professionalism and bravery. We serve for you. You embody the very best of America. To the rescued airmen and their families, welcome home. Your courage and endurance, the quiet declaration of faith amid the storm, inspires us all. God is good every day.
Got my stops at a little over 10
And
points
to our
profit. If
adversaries watching from
it pushes
Tehran,
back up,
let this be a clear
that
message.
bounce kind of confirms it
The
could.
United States military will go anywhere, at any time, to protect
If
our
that
own
9 don't keep
and
it
complete the
down.
mission. We execute with precision. We control the skies. You see, we flew for 7 hours in daylight over Iran to get the first pilot. And we flew 7 hours in the middle of the night to get the second.
Here we go. Rejected the
Iran
9. Thank goodness.
Did nothing about it. We fight with honor, and under President Trump's leadership, we win.
Here comes the
God bless our
50 and the
troops.
21.
God bless President Trump.
That's our next battle.
God
Up
bless the
25
United States
points
of
right
America.
there, guys. Come on.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. A note before I start, I know many of you want specific details in these briefings. We will share what we can, but I will retain what I must in the event that we have to go do this again sometime. And I cannot stress the importance, as the President said, around
Comes
operational
290.
security. The Secretary and I will do a more detailed briefing tomorrow morning, and we look forward to sharing the details that we can. On
Bounce
Thursday,
off the
2
50.
April at 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:40 in the morning, local Iran time, the Joint Personnel Recovery Center, which handles the Central
keep
Command
dropping.
area of responsibility, declared an isolated personnel
That's the
recovery
9 on the
event
5 also.
for U.S.
so-
Air Force F-15E Strike Eagle, call sign Dude 44, which was down in hostile Iranian territory. The pilot and weapons system officer had both safely ejected and were isolated behind enemy lines. Following confirmation of active rescue beacons and on the
There's
direction
over
of the
30
Secretary
points.
and by order of the President, a rescue operation was launched with the stated purpose of bringing both Americans
Move my
home
stop mat
safely.
down to the top of that
As the
previous
Secretary
wick
said,
now.
several hours later on the morning after positively locating
Slowly
the front
getting these
seater,
EMAs to
call
protect us
sign
right
Dude
for the short.
44 Alpha, and aware of an aggressive ongoing search by the enemy, a U.S. Central Command plan was approved by the
Come on, there's
Secretary and the
35
President.
points.
Shortly thereafter,
Decent
a
bounce
U.S.
right
Air
there. That
Force
could be some
Combat
problems.
Search and Rescue Task Force, comprised of A-10 Warthogs in their Sandy role, and I'll describe what that is in a minute.
Now we're guaranteed 20
HC-130
points
Combat
right
King
there.
2s,
Come on, we're up
HH-60 Jolly Green
37
II
points.
helicopters, and Air Force Special Warfare Airmen, a package
All right, guitar
comprised of
guy.
combat rescue officers and pararescueman operators, audaciously penetrated enemy territory in broad daylight to find, fix, and recover Dude 44
Oof,
Alpha
there was a
from
fast
behind
wick.
enemy
I don't know if
lines.
that's good or not. There's
This
81.
was an
There's 40
incredibly
points, guys. Come on.
dangerous mission.
Let's keep
An
riding.
incredibly dangerous
on.
undertaking.
Come on,
but a
NQ.
filled promise made to every
Guaranteed
American
25 points
warfighter
now.
that you will not be left behind. We will always come
Getting a
find
little
you,
bounce right
and
here.
we
This
will
is kind
always
of wick
bring
through
you
that
home.
82 low.
Over the next hours, the search and rescue task force crossed the beach, entered into Iranian airspace, protected by a fighter strike package, and moved into the objective area, all under fire. En route, as some of you have seen on social media,
Kind of bounced off the
helicopters
200
took
on the
gas
5
off
minute.
the
It's at
C-130s
79.80
and
ish.
pressed onward and forward up into the objective area. While this was ongoing and out in front of them, the Sandy flight of A-10s and other remotely piloted aircraft, drones, and other tactical aircraft were violently suppressing and engaging the enemy in a close-in gunfight to keep them away from the front seater and allow the pickup force to get into the objective area. During this engagement, one of the Sandy aircraft, the one primarily responsible for communicating with the downed pilot, was hit by enemy fire. This pilot
Maybe the
continued
down.
to
Come on,
fight,
keep dropping.
continued the mission, and then upon
10 more
exit,
points for the
flew his
Cowboy.
aircraft into another country and determined that the airplane was not landable. This was one of our A-10 Sandy aircraft. The pilot then made the decision to eject over friendly territory and was quickly and safely recovered and is doing fine. After
Get some
picking
more
up
out of it.
Dude 44 Alpha, the HH-60 Jolly Green fight was engaged by every single person in
bounce,
Iran
plugging to
who
get
had
me
a
right
small
here.
arms weapon.
We're
And
trailing
one of
it.
the aircraft, the trailing aircraft, took several hits. The crew sustained minor injury, and they are going to be fine. A note for those of you that do not know what a Sandy does.
Need that
Named
50 to
after the
protect
flight
us
call
right
sign
there.
that did this very mission in Vietnam, flying A-1 Sky Raiders and A-7 Corsairs. A Sandy has one mission: get to the survivor, bring the rescue force forward, and put themselves between that survivor on the ground and the enemy. They are committed to this. This is what they live for,
Come on.
and this is what they've trained for over many, many years. The A-10 force and the rescue force did a fantastic job rescuing Dude 44 Alpha. He was recovered Friday afternoon.
All right, I'm flat
As
right
I
there.
said, and the nation needs to know
Got
this,
about 600
this
out of
was an
that one.
incredibly brave
Was up
and
about
courageous
800 at one
mission,
point.
and a testament to the courage, skill,
Let's
and
see if it reverses
tenacity
now,
of
or
the
if that was
Joint
just a
Force
good wick to go
and our
get
leaders.
trading Cowboy
And
out of it.
especially a daylight option, having the guts to try means so much to so many. Meanwhile, the backseater, as the President and the Secretary have said, had continued to work and survive. Through the hours of daylight, Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater, evaded. Using every means available, the efforts of the United States military, the Central Intelligence Agency, and others were attempting to find and locate with precision Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater. A note on the backseater and the front seater. The single most important contributor to a successful rescue operation is the spirit of attack inside the heart of that downed aviator. Their will to survive, their will to evade, their will to recover is everything. In this case, the backseaters' absolute commitment to surviving made much of our efforts possible. On Saturday, 4 April, after establishing positive communications with the backseater, we learned, as the President said, that he was injured and actively evading enemy forces. And thanks to our interagency partners, we were able to get eyes on his location and positively ID him. Throughout this entire time, the enemy force continued to search for 4-4 Bravo, and the joint force continued to strike them over and over and over again. Fighting off marginal weather in Iran and the enemy's search for a second time on Saturday, at the recommendation of the CENTCOM commander and at the approval of the Secretary and the President, we launched a rescue task force to recover Dude 4-4 Bravo. Again, this came to the President and the Secretary for approval, this time with a much larger force package based on the time that the enemy had to prepare to find 4-4 Bravo. Again, this force was protected by A-10 Warthogs using the Sandy call sign.
Still shorten.
And this force had one
Dang it.
single mission: do everything they can to bring an American home. This meant having a plan, being prepared to execute that plan, and, more importantly, being prepared for multiple, simultaneous
Beautiful bear
contingencies.
flag.
And because of this
Pushing through the
force's
200 now.
professionalism,
Oh,
grit,
there's my
and
50-point trade I
determination,
wanted.
fight off two enemies at the same time. The enemy searching for 4-4 Bravo and contingencies, which anyone who has done these types of missions knows we run into every single time. The force fought off both of those enemies incredibly well. During the period of darkness on Saturday, and as the Secretary said, into Easter Sunday and into the daylight, the force fought its way in and rescued Dude 4-4 Bravo. They were protected overhead by an air armada,
Mark said I just did a
including
nervous
tactical
click on my
drones,
mouse and
strike
exited a trade
aircraft,
on
and
accident.
others.
You don't know how
The
many times
force
I've done
fought
that,
through
Mark.
multiple simultaneous contingencies.
Or the worst part is if
something
I'm on a
no
different screen
other
moving
nation,
stuff
no other
around,
military
and I go
can
to
do.
another screen and I just click it one
And
time.
safely return
Well,
Dude
instead of
4-4
exiting the
Bravo,
trade or,
backseater,
you know,
home.
whatever,
And
it just
all
goes
other
to that screen.
Americans
So I
home
didn't do
as well.
anything. So
At midnight,
if I need it
12
out of a trade,
local
I'm in trouble.
Eastern time, Easter Sunday, more than 50 hours after the start of this operation.
I mean, that short's still playing like
the
money
Joint
right there. I just,
Personnel Recovery
that
Center
big old
declared
pump
Dude
got me
4-4
out. It pumped
Bravo,
over the
both
EMAs.
front and backseater,
And I got
returned to
30
friendly
points out of it,
territory.
but
The courage
coulda had my 50 right
demonstrated
there.
by both the pilot and the weapons system officer while isolated and them invading the enemy cannot be overstated. Their grit and warfighting tenacity is a direct result of the absolute trust they have in our rescue forces, their training, and their will to survive and return. They always knew that we would be ordered to go get them, and they always knew that we would be coming to get them. These two operations reflect
Bouncing
our
off the
nation's
200
most sacred
now.
obligation to our military service members.
no wick at the bottom
We
of a
leave
1 minute,
no one
though.
behind, bless you.
5 minutes just
It
getting
also
that 50-second
perfectly
push. Let's
captures
see if it's
the
real.
first truth of our special operations forces.
That 5 minutes is
that
going to
people
close looking
are
bullish
more
if it stays
important
right in
than
here.
hardware. That is the standard we live by, and the rescue forces that execute these missions operate under a clear motto: these things we do that others may live. Their actions were a direct embodiment of that commitment to others, and I could not be more proud of each and every one of them today. As the Secretary said to our enemies, this operation serves as a clear reminder when we want to. We will always bring overwhelming skill and firepower. To every member of the Joint Force, our interagency partners, the leadership at CENTCOM, and our leaders at the department and above, thank you. I'm proud of each and every one of you and thankful to our deployed forces and their families. And lastly, and most importantly,
If it pushes
to
through
Dude
right here, I'm gonna
44,
try to get in around the
welcome
80s
home.
maybe.
Job well done. Thank you.
See if it pushes down through here. May miss it though.
Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. And these two gentlemen have been, from day one, they've been perfecto. You know, I got to know General Kane in my first term because he was able to take out ISIS in 4 weeks instead of the 4-year projection that was given to me by other much lesser generals. I said, you know, if I ever do this again, that's going to be the head of my Joint Chiefs of Staff. And we worked it that way, didn't we? It's amazing. He took out ISIS. We defeated ISIS in 4 weeks. I was told it would take 4 years. I flew to Iraq to find out with the greatest equipment in the world, why would it take 4 years? And he told me, sir, it won't. It'll take 4 weeks and you'll have time left over. And that's exactly what happened. So he's great. And Pete, all I can say is that he was treated very unfairly.
Little wick down to kind of get everybody kind of entering that
fought against him,
bear
called
flag,
me
and
up
then
saying, what a great
pushes right
choice
back
he was.
up. Huh?
They said, well, what happened during his nomination? What happened to you?
Get a nice little
I'm
10
telling you,
points to see if
people
it
that
stops
were
them
not
out.
for him, senators, friends of mine, sir, I don't think you're doing the right thing. Now they're calling me up. What a choice. These two guys are fantastic. And John Ratcliffe was incredible. It was actually their genius that called us from, he was 40 miles away. And he said, you know, we're seeing something moving up in the mountain. This is at night. And they kept the camera on him for 45 minutes. He wasn't moving. And they said, you know, probably wrong, but we're seeing something moving. This is a vast mountain, vast, thick, with bushes, trees. He said, we see something moving 40 miles away. It was the head of a human being, I'm telling you, it's moving. And then all of a sudden, 45 minutes later, he moved a lot. Stood up, and they said, we have him. And that was really the beginning of something incredible. We had an idea where he was, but not specifically. And it's a big mountain. So I want to thank the CIA, too. I don't think they get enough credit for the great job they've done. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for this great opportunity. Country it has super army. You make a difference, Mr. President. Thank you for your greatest leadership.
Thank you.
I have 2 quick questions, Mr. President. What was your reaction when you learned that Kurdistan region had resumed exporting oil to the international market with your support as United States of America?
Well, I expected that. We've gotten along with the Kurds for a long time, so I expected that.
Another question, what would be your reaction if the Iranian people rise up against their regime during a ceasefire, Mr. President?
Well, they should do it, but again, the consequences are great. I mean, they were told, if you protest, you will be shot immediately. You saw what happened to the young
right here, or?
wrestler. He was a great champion, by the way. He was a great wrestler, one of the top.
It's like we're
in the
slowing
world.
down now all of a sudden.
And he and his 2 friends were hung. And all they did was say a little bit about liberty. They wanted liberty, and they were violently executed. But the number is up to probably 45,000 people were killed. So, you know, when somebody stays in a house, when they know if they walk out of the house to protest, they'll be immediately shot and killed. And they issued that, you know, that was publicly issued. It's not a secret. That's why so many people say, oh, well, why are you doing this way? We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. You know, we got regime change. We do. We're dealing with a much different regime than before. We're dealing with different people. They're smarter. I think they're sharper and far less radical. We have regime change, but we didn't do this for regime change. We did it for the fact, and my view was very simple. I saw somebody said, oh, he doesn't have a plan. I have the best plan of all, but I'm not going to tell you what my plan is. You know, they want me to say, here's my plan. We're going to attack at 9:47 in the morning, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to... And if you don't do that, they say, I have a plan. These people know what the plan is. Everybody here knows what the plan is. But it's very unfair to say, you know, because I don't mind being insulted. I've been insulted for many years by the fake news. But you can't it's so bad for the people that are so pro. You just saw two great, and John Ratcliffe, three unbelievable people. They have a plan. Every single thing has been thought out by all of us. But I can't reveal the plan to the media. So, but we're just thrilled by the success of this operation. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
They would be willing to, and it's suffering. They would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing. Do it. And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas, they're saying, please come back, come back, come back. These are the people. I don't know what they do. All I can tell you is they want freedom. They have lived in a world that you know nothing about. It's a violent, horrible world where if you protest, you are shot. Remember the great woman protests where they had 400,000, 500,000 women, and they were all enthused and they were going to protest, and everybody said, oh, the regime's going to come to an end. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, 5, 6 different areas. A woman would go down right between the eyes. They had snipers. They had 5 snipers. That's all it took. And those 400,000 or 500,000 women said, oh my God, what's that? Oh, look over there, what's that? A woman shot right between the eyes, and after 5 or 6 of them go down, then you start hearing the purr through the vast number of people. And then they said, oh my God, who would do that? And they're incredible people, but they've lived so horribly. They've lived so horribly. You know, Iran was a great country if you go back 25 years ago or so. The Persian people, they're incredible, smart, brilliant, actually. And I know so many. I know coming from New York, originally, I know so many people from Iran. They're incredible people, incredible energy, and very, very brilliant people. But when you're standing in a group and protesting and you have a woman, in the case of the woman, remember the Great Woman March, everybody was saying, oh, this is the end of the country. And then snipers selectively picked. Every single one was shot right between the eyes from a long distance. They were on top of buildings. Nobody even knew where they were. Where they coming from? This wasn't like a machine gun, which is also very bad. They've done that too. They did that recently. This was snipers sitting on the top of buildings, aiming and hitting women. And when they see people go down, and all of a sudden there's a riot in the reverse direction, and they never came out again. And a lot of the news doesn't talk about that. They talk about, oh, women's rights. You want to see women's rights? You're not going to see it there. It's amazing when I see some of the stupid people like, AOC plus 3, all that group. They talk about, oh, freedom for Iran. They don't tell you the real facts. Women, men, gays. How about gays for Iran? They kill the gays. They throw them off buildings. So I wonder what's going on. I can only say this.
All right, I'm back, chat.
They
Sorry.
want us to keep bombing, even if it jeopardizes, because their life is in much greater danger. They want freedom for Iran.
I mean, yeah,
It's
Mark,
very
I
hard for them
took
to
that
protest. I actually tell them, I said,
as a
"Don't
wick
go
through
out."
that
I
21
Nobody in this room would go out. I don't think there's
right there a
because
couple
frankly,
times, and it
it's not a
rejected
question
each
of
time.
bravery.
That
We're all
last time I
brave,
tried
right?
to
You're
catch it,
brave,
got
I'm
it
brave,
in at
we're all brave.
76 for the short.
But we're also intelligent.
Stops above that candle.
If you have people shooting at you,
I'm just looking for like
split
25
shots
points.
with the best rifles you can get.
It's kind of all I need on this account
Every
today.
single time. And you're looking here and you're seeing and you're looking here. You're out of there. I don't care who it is. Please.
Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Yeah, Mark.
How would I know that?
Yeah, let's go H-Town.
No,
Good job.
Can we go back to the weekend? First off, was everyone on board with the operation, or were there people that were trying to talk you out of going through with the operation this weekend?
Not everybody was on board.
I mean, this is short, and I just kind of have a feeling it's going to bounce at the
Military people,
50s.
Very professional.
If we don't get the
preferred
50s,
not
then it
going.
could bounce at the
These two were
27s,
totally on board,
and that'd be a
which
nice
was very important.
50-point move.
They weren't. It would have had a little difficulty. But no, there were military people that said you just don't do this. You don't go into the heart of a very
See, look at that. And then it just wicks
powerful
right back
military.
up
You know,
so
this
fast.
is, hey, you have countries and countries. You have some countries where military is not their strong suit. This whole thing is militarized like nobody's ever seen. before. Half the people are
49.75,
wearing
yeah.
uniforms. And we had people within the military. Usually it's
Just
not
call it
done.
out. I have
That's
to
one
pack
of the
some
reasons,
stuff for
I was
eBay. You
surprised.
got it,
Somebody
Mark.
said it's the only
I
time
see a
it's
good
ever
setup
been
in a
done. I
minute.
said that's not possible, but it is possible, because you're going into hundreds of thousands of soldiers along the path. I mean, look at some of the helicopters, how they
Akash is in
got hit.
200 ticks of profit.
So,
That
yeah,
a
there were
baby.
people within the military that said it's a wise. And don't forget, how many men did you send altogether, approximately?
I got about 80 out of it right now.
I'd love to keep that a secret.
Okay,
80 ticks.
But I will tell you, the number, I'll keep it a secret, but it was hundreds. And hundreds of these people, that's pretty good. Is he central casting? But hundreds of people went into this journey. Hundreds of people could have been killed. Forget about the equipment, a lot of equipment, nobody cares. Hundreds of people could have been killed. So we had people that were within the
come on.
military that said this is not
We
a
need
wise,
8 more
and I
points
understood
from
that,
there.
but I decided to do it.
Was there a point that they were gonna, that you were thinking, there's too much on the line, and somebody was saying, maybe we abort this now and wait?
I don't like
mean,
those
given
fast
the
wicks,
resources
guys,
the
if you're
general
trying
said,
to-
It seemed like there was
A lot of times
so
that
much
tells
on
me
the
it's
line
fixing
here. You
to
must
turn
have been
around.
thinking,
Come on.
this
Step into options
Come on.
education with confidence. At the Options Industry
Oh.
Council, we want you to know your options.
Missed me by a point
which
and
is
a
why
half.
we've created OCC Learning, a complete self-guided learning platform where investors receive realistic options education for free. Join now to learn at your own pace with options-related courses, knowledge checks and course
Sorry, guys.
quizzes,
Wasn't paying
a
attention. Let me go
library of
turn that off.
podcasts and
Just as well with goggles. In many ways, it's enhanced. So we have
Akash
the
is
best in the
out.
world.
That's good. That's
So
smart,
it's much
Akash.
safer for us
And it's kinda
for us
getting
to
real
do it at
wiki.
night, whereas other people, no other country has that capability. They don't have
fixing
that
to move it
particular
below
piece of
the-
equipment like we do. But when
Fixing to move it below
I
the
was
9,
told,
but
flying
it held
in
right
daylight,
there.
I think we flew 7 hours.
let's get 25
over
points.
Iran.
Come on.
That's a
We got
long
30
time.
while
Over
ago.
Unbelievably hostile territory where they have nothing but weapons.
All right, guitar guy. We'll
We
see you
took out
tomorrow,
their
buddy.
Anti-aircraft, which is great. We took out their radar, which is great. We took out a lot, but they still have. You know what hit this one was a shoulder.
Thanks for being here.
Handheld shoulder missile, heat-seeking missile. So it's not like they're totally whatever, but and they have probably a little luck, because you got to get lucky. But they shot it, and it got sucked in right by the engine. But these guys were out of there. They were great. Their timing was great. But no, I was told that this is a very
Don't do what I
dangerous
would
mission.
do. You
They
got it.
didn't
That's
say
exactly
it's a
what.
foolish mission. They said,
You
we're gonna
have-
be
you have the same
sacrificing
mentality, guitar guy.
hundreds
I
of
know.
people do this. This is, I mean, you have tankers that are flying over this area so that because the flight was so long, they had to refuel. It's a very dangerous mission. I just felt it
come
was
on.
worth it. If you would have told
Give me a
me
little
that
more.
we would have been successful, gotten both, and nobody was even essentially
We'll
injured,
move it down now.
I would have said that would be impossible. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We'll come back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Given that
250s,
you are
come
now
on.
dealing, you say, with a more reasonable,
Come on.
less
All right.
extreme leadership in Iran, what
All
does
out
that
right there,
mean for
guys.
the
I'm going to rotate
protesters,
accounts.
for
That was
the
a good
human
wick,
rights
though. We
movement
got
in that country
27
after this
points out of it, I
What's your
think.
expectation?
Yeah, if they assume control, if we do something and they assume control, I think it's very positive. A big step.
We're up 1506
I
on
don't
that
think you'd
account
see the
today.
radicalization that you have seen in the last. Look what happened. I mean, women are being executed because they're not
I
properly
think it'll wick through
clothed,
this
they say.
244.
They're not properly clothed, and they execute
Kinda looking
the
to see
women. They
between- oh.
Absolutely, they shoot them right on the street.
Okay, it didn't catch 244.
No, you have a much different group of people. Now, I'm not saying we are dealing with them.
Golly, guys,
they
I
have
don't
till
know.
8 o'clock tomorrow
Wick
night
City.
Eastern time. But we are dealing with them. I think it's going well. Mr. Witkoff is here, and JD's involved in the dealing. Mr. Witkoff is sitting right here, and I think it's going fine, but we'll have to see. You have to understand, we've been dealing with these people for 47 years. I'm standing here with a much more powerful Iran as of a month ago, not anymore. Right now, they are decapitated. But I'm standing here a month ago with a much more powerful Iran than it was at any point during 47 years. This should have been handled by 7 presidents, a lot of presidents. And those presidents are saying now, every one of them to their friends, we should have done this a long time ago. So it's not something I like doing. It's very dangerous, and we're getting them at the height of their strength. If I didn't terminate the Barack Hussein Obama Iran nuclear deal, they would have had a, don't forget, that was a path to a nuclear weapon. Remember this. He chose Iran over Israel, pure and simple. How Israel can vote for a Democrat is, if you're Jewish in New York City or any place else in this country, and how you can vote for a Democrat is unbelievable, because he chose Iran, a very hostile Iran. Remember when he filled up a 757 with cash, billions of dollars of cash, and he sent it over to them. Then they gave them tens of billions of dollars. He chose Iran over Israel, and really the Arab world, if you look, because, you know, the other, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, I mean, you take a look. I mean, I can add Kuwait, and I can add Bahrain, and you can add others. He chose such an unlikely candidate. Nobody could believe it.
All right,
Frankly,
guys,
you're
if they
gonna
don't
choose
break that
between
244
Iraq
area,
and Iran, he should have befriended Iraq. He went in the exact opposite direction of all thinking, and he made a terrible mistake. But that was a road to
was
a
a
nuclear
higher low.
weapon. And when I terminated that, everyone said, oh, he terminated it. It was one of the best things we ever did, because he had a road to a nuclear weapon. And it was a very short-term deal. You know, countries don't do 10-year deals. Countries do hundreds of years. You don't do a 10-year deal. For a country, you need, this isn't, you're a landlord and you're renting a store on a certain street, and you give somebody a 5-year or a 10-year lease. This is a country. It was a short-term deal. It was ready to expire. I terminated it before it expired. Took a lot of heat, and it was one of the best things I ever did, because he would have had a nuclear weapon. Then he would have had another nuclear weapon, had those beautiful B-2 bombers not gone in 8 months ago, and obliterated that site. And by the way, the word is obliteration. CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't complete. It was so complete that they still haven't been able to get it. It was obliteration. But if we didn't hit them, that was a courageous decision too, because we had all those planes flying in at night with very little cover, unbelievable stealth planes, and they were able to do their job. If we didn't do that, Iran would have had a nuclear weapon at a high level, either one of those two instances. And if they did, in my opinion, I told this to Bibi Netanyahu yesterday, Israel would have been extinguished. Large portions of the Middle East would have been extinguished, whether it's Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, or others. And you saw that with thousands of missiles raining down upon them. They didn't think they were going to be hit. They thought they'd be watching us fight. And all of a sudden, UAE got hit by 15.
oh, I know it, Hydro. I caught 27 of it. I caught 30 points before it. But
And they were powerful. If I didn't come along and terminate the Obama deal, which was terrible, the Iran nuclear deal was a road to a nuclear weapon.
no wick on the bottom of that
legally.
5.
I terminated.
Not a big
without
wick
even much
before it.
thought. It was so easy. I terminated that, and then the B-2 bombers. And I did one other thing. I had killed Qasem Soleimani, who was an evil genius. And the reason I did it, I heard he was going to knock out 5 of our military bases. And had he lived,
50
I
gonna hold
believe
it?
we would be fighting
I'm going to try it to
perhaps
75. Try to
different
short it again.
Iran right now, because he's never
Little
he's never been
dangerous.
replaced, you know. And I did
I
one
got
other,
out
but
at
that, this one was not
210
picked
done
up.
for the day.
Osama
Bye-bye.
bin
Good
Laden.
night. Good deal, Akash. Hey, we'll see you
Read my
tomorrow, I hope,
book.
buddy.
I said you got to take him out.
Swing back
1
by,
year before
okay?
the World Trade Center came down.
Thanks for jumping
So
in.
we should read the book. But you, as a president, to be a good president, I believe you have to have good instincts. And a lot of this is instinct. Yeah, please.
Thank you so much for taking my question, Mr. President. Mr.
Yeah, go ahead,
President,
please.
last week you suggested that Europe should take the lead on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Has circumstances changed now that you're issuing a direct 48-hour
push now.
ultimatum? And secondly,
Going
would a
some
new
drink.
ceasefire include Israel, or would it just be between
I
Iran
can't
and the
talk
US?
about ceasefire, but I can tell you that we have a active, willing participant on the other side. They would like to be able to make a deal. I can't say any more than that, but they'd like to do it.
Mr. President, thank you so much.
You've
Mr.
listed the
President.
goals. Excuse me.
Please, go ahead.
You've listed
Thank
the
you, Mr.
goals.
President.
Who you with?
Sir.
Who you with?
My name is Diakurda. I'm with the largest Kurdish media outlet, Ruda Media Network. It's based in Iran.
Nice push.
Mr. President, you said before that you don't want the Kurdish forces to enter Iran and be harmed. Do you still want them to stay away? Or what role do you expect them to play now?
I'd rather have them stay away.
And then
I'd rather have them stay away because I think they bring with them some problems and some difficulties. And I don't think they bring death, I mean, you know, to themselves. But I'd rather have them stay away. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the question. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and
Who you
international
with?
law.
Who you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Zolan from the New York Times. Are you
The failing.
Are you
You see
concerned?
circulation way down at the New York Times.
Are
What's
you
going on with
concerned
it?
that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to
No,
war
not at
crimes?
all. No, I'm not. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators, and because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And if somebody that takes my place someday is weak and ineffective, which possibly that will happen because we had numerous presidents that were weak, ineffective, and afraid of Iran, we're never going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And if you think it's okay for people that are sick of mind, that are tough, smart, and sick, really sick, from a policy standpoint, from a any which way you want to say, mentally, these are disturbed people. If you think I'm going to allow them, and powerful and rich, to have a nuclear weapon, you can tell your friends at the New York Times, not going to happen.
It means violating international law.
Quiet. You no longer have credibility at the New York Times. Because the New York Times said, "Oh, Trump won't win the election."
Yeah, and has bounced back. Yeah, I tried to catch it once. I lost 10 points on it.
Trump won't win the election. New York Times has no credibility. The
Now I'm
credibility
just
they
waiting.
have is it used to be all the
It's
news.
wanting me
is
to get
fit
back
print.
in
The
short right
great-
here, though.
The old gray lady, it was great, but they're running
what a
on
push.
past fumes, and you can't keep doing that. You have to be able to give the correct news, and people like you, who I know, are fake. You're fake. Go ahead, please.
Your messaging on the war has moved from the war is coming to an end to war going to be bombing Iran to the Stone Ages.
Right.
And we've heard a range of those
Sure.
kind of messages. So which is it? Are you winding this down
Can't tell you.
or are you escalating
I can't tell
it?
you. I don't know. I can't tell. Depends what they do. This is a critical period. They have a period of, well, till tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I gave them an extension. They asked for an extension of 7 days.
These
right?
questions are making me
I said,
nervous for long. Yeah, I know,
Steve,
Mark. I almost want to turn
give
it
them
off.
10 days. 10
Oh,
days is up actually today, so I gave them 11.
but
I
that
guess,
probably wouldn't be good
indirectly.
either.
I thought it was inappropriate the day after Easter. I want to be a nice person. They have till tomorrow. Now we'll see what happens. I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith. We're going to find out. We're getting the help of some incredible countries that want this to be ended because it affects them also.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44. This is a first look.
They're going to have no bridges. They're going to have no power plants. Stone Ages, yeah. Stone Ages. CNN fake news.
Are
yeah.
you willing to make a deal that does not include reopening the Strait of Hormuz, or is that now a top priority?
I would say it's a very big priority because, see, that's one thing that's a little different than other things. We can bomb the hell out of them. We can knock them out for a little. But to close
I
the
know it,
strait,
Mark.
all
I
you
feel
need
so
is
cheap
one
whenever
terrorist.
I feel so
Somehow I
cheap
said
whenever it
truck
hits the
loaded
commercials.
with, 'cause you can carry them in trucks, large trucks. A water mine, drop them in the water, and now you tell people that own ships that cost $1 billion to don't worry about the mine. You can do that.
If
even
I get a
just by
payout
saying
this
we
week,
put
okay,
mines
Mark?
in the water. So it's not like
Or if people
the
start
rest,
buying my
we can
merch.
knock out their military. We already have. We've knocked out their Navy. We've knocked out their Air Force completely. We've knocked out 158 ships in 3 days. We've knocked out even their mine droppers. They don't have any mine droppers anymore, but they put them on other boats, and they could drop them. I'm not even sure they have any mines there, by the way. I'm not sure. I'm personally, they say there might be 8. I don't know. I think there might be none because they're very good bullshit artists. That's why for 47 years they've been bullshitting other presidents.
Nice bull flag. Finally, I was scared it was going to not be a bull
hell.
flag.
You live in that country, they're living in hell. No, I
Let's
think
see if it
that,
holds.
47
Let's
years
see if it pushes through here.
of this stuff is long enough. They're at the weakest point they've ever been. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft weaponry, they have no radar, they have no communication. In fact, the biggest problem we have in our negotiation is that they can't communicate. I said to Steve, what are they saying? Sir, they can't communicate. They have no method of communication. So we're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication. But all I want to see is I want to have a safe world, and you're not going to have a safe world. Israel will be gone. The Middle East will be gone. And then they're coming for Europe. And I have to tell you, I'm very disappointed in NATO, very. I think that NATO, I think it's a mark on NATO that will never disappear in my mind. You know, they're coming to see me on Wednesday. They're going to say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Now they all of a sudden want to send things, you know. But they said it loud and clear at the beginning. When I spoke to UK of all, I would have said they would have been the first because they're the oldest. And I say, yeah, I'd love to have a little help. He said, no, sir, we'd rather wait till you win. I said, I don't need help after we win. They have 2 old broken aircraft carriers, barely work. I said, I guess we can use them. Who the hell knows? I called the general. He didn't even want them. He said, we don't really need them. We got the SS Abraham Lincoln, sir. We don't need them. You know, we have, in terms of technology, we had one day 101 missiles going at 2,700 miles an hour, aimed at the Abraham
11 more
Lincoln.
points.
101 missiles. Out of 101 missiles.
Remember what I always say, Mark.
101
Anybody can eat an elephant, one bite at a time.
Unbelievable technology. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know if that would have been possible. But 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been possible. 101 missiles heading to a ship that's not that far off the coast. And out of the 101 missiles, we shot down all 101. We have weaponry. The Patriots are unbelievable. We have weaponry that's unbelievable, yeah. Go ahead, please.
Went down 1,700 while watching your stream, now I'm down $64.
That you would like to take
Oh, okay, quit watching, Mark. Just listen. just listen to me yell and holler.
If I had my choice, yeah, because I'm a businessman first. With Venezuela, as you know, the war was over in about 45 minutes. And we have great people running Venezuela, very good people. I mean, the relationship is good. And we are a partner with Venezuela. And we've taken hundreds
trying to hold right here. I think he's trying to get some shorts in, trying to get them to play the game.
100 million barrels already is in Houston, refined
it keeps
and
pumping
out.
up.
And paid for that war many, many times over. Many times over. You know, the old days, to the victim.
Kind of weight stalls out.
You know that. To the winner belong the spoils. Go the spoils. And I've said, why don't we use it? To the victor, go the spoils. And we don't have that. We haven't had that in this country probably in 100 years, because even the Second World War, you look at the Second World War, we didn't have it with the Second World. We helped rebuild all those countries. We rebuilt Germany. How about Germany telling us that, well, it's not their war. We had nothing to do with it. They wanted me to go and tell them everything I was doing. We didn't know anything about it. Well, if I would have told them, they would have leaked it, and we wouldn't have been nearly as successful, possibly, right? But to the victor belong the spoils. So we haven't heard that in, I think, maybe hundreds of years. Now with Venezuela, and we, just so you understand, the people of Venezuela, they say if I ran for president of Venezuela, I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. So after I'm finished with this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language. And I will go to Venezuela. I'm going to run for president. But we're very happy with the president-elect that we have right now. The people that are running it. If you remember Bush with Iraq, they fired the generals, they fired the
Trump.
police, they fired the people that worked
That
in
after his
their
election, he'd go to
equivalent of
Venezuela,
the
learn
White
Spanish
House.
really
They fired
fast,
everybody.
and run
you
for
know what
president.
They had a mess. And you know what happened?
Oh.
ISIS formed. Those generals and those soldiers got together. The police got together. They all got together. They formed ISIS. Not going to happen with us. So Venezuela has been an incredible. It's been an incredible situation. We went in. We were very successful.
Yeah.
Military power like nobody's
that's
ever
so funny.
seen. The general, Venezuelan general, said, I was on that site. I said, I've never seen ferocity like that. I've been doing this for 40 years. He said, I've never seen it. They hit us from 17 different. They were all set. They saw that big, beautiful aircraft carrier, the Ford in that case, and planes were pouring off it at 1 o'clock in the morning. So typically, when you see that late at night, you know you could be in trouble, right? And we were all ready. They had their equipment. It was Russian, and they had Chinese equipment. It was all set. They were going to give us a fight. He said, and then they came, and they came at speeds like we've never seen. And they came at 17 different angles. The general and his people, that was a lot of angles.
Another wick
They hit him
up.
from every angle. He said, we knew it was over in 3 minutes. We were waiting for them. Their equipment didn't work, and there's a reason it didn't work. Someday we'll explain that to people. They pressed the button, nothing happened. They pressed it again and again, nothing happened. And he said, we knew this whole thing was over in 3 minutes. We've never seen any, he used the word ferocity. The ferocity of these planes from 17 different angles, and it was over. They went inside, and remember, that was on a military base with thousands of soldiers. And those soldiers looked and they said, get the hell out of here. Thousands. We didn't have thousands. We had like 200 people. So we have a great military. And I'll tell you what, somehow this rescue captured the world's attention, more so than normally. You're talking about 2 people. But this rescue captured the world's attention. But we did it in Venezuela. That was amazing. And now we have a very bad man in prison and going to trial. I mean, he released, aside from the drugs, which he was terrible, Maduro released
Making another little bull
hundreds
flag,
of
maybe, kind
thousands
of starting to
people
slowly
from jails into
wick
our
down
country.
each time.
Drug
No
dealers,
wicks at the top of
murderers,
those candles either
the
on the
worst
1
people
minute.
in the world were released into our country because we had a stupid president who probably didn't know, and we had a border czar who never went to the border and never once called our great border patrol agents, right? Not once, Kamala. She never called the border patrol. She never said, how we doing? I used to call the border patrol guys every day. You can ask them, Paul, ask any one of them. Brandon, ask them all the time. How are we doing? How are we doing? And we now, I'm proud to say, have a totally sealed border. 9 months, nobody is coming through our border. And nobody even tries because they know they're not going to get through. So we don't have caravans anymore. Right. So maybe 1 or 2 more and we'll be done.
Mr. President, are you allowed to, or are you willing to end this conflict with Iran charging tolls for passage through the strait?
Us charging tolls?
Iran.
What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us. Your question would have been more accurate if you said us. Go ahead.
So just to clarify, in order for Iran to successfully meet your deadline tomorrow, do they have to make a deal, open the strait, or both?
We have to have a deal that's acceptable to me. And part of that deal is going to be, we want free traffic of oil and everything else.
President, thank you very much. You've said glory be to God in this conflict. Do you believe that God supports the United States' actions in this war?
I do, because
And have you
God
sought
is
his
good.
direction?
Because God is good, and God wants to see people taken care of. God doesn't like what's happening. I don't like what's happening. Everyone says I enjoy. I don't enjoy this.
Look at that
I don't
stair
enjoy.
step.
These 2 guys don't enjoy it. You know, people say, "Oh boy, they're so tough." They don't like. I don't like seeing people killed. I've ended 8 wars Nobody's ever done it. The person who won the Nobel Prize came to me and said, "You deserve the Nobel Prize." She announced that. When they announced, they said, "Goes to Maria. She's a great person, really a good person." She said, "No, no, no. This is ridiculous. They gave me the Nobel Prize. President Trump ended 8 wars. I could go over every one of them, including India and Pakistan, where the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved from 30 to 50 million lives." That makes me much happier than what we're doing right now. That makes me much happier. We have one more to end, by the way. Okay.
President, you called yesterday in your Truth Social, you called the Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that
I don't care about critics.
You love building high-performing
Sorry,
websites,
Mark. Sorry.
but you don't
Sorry,
love having
sorry.
to chase clients down.
But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything, for many years until I came along. So if that's the case, you're going to have more people. Dasha, go ahead. Dasha, go.
You said that very little is off limits in Iran as far as targeting,
Yeah.
including power plants, bridges. You've mentioned those.
Very little is off limits.
Are there certain kinds of civilian targets, though? I'm thinking schools
I don't want
or
to tell you that.
hospitals that you
I don't
would
want to
say
tell you
is
that.
off-
We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We may even get involved with helping them rebuild their nation. And you know what? If that's the case, the last thing we want to do is start with power plants, which are among the most expensive thing, and bridges. You saw the bridge. The bridge went. We were very close to a deal. And then I got a call from Mr. Witkoff, Mr. Kushner, and JD saying, "I think they're breaking the deal." I said, "Tell them that's okay. Don't worry about it. But tell them to look out their window and watch." And within 45 minutes, I gave the order to knock out the biggest bridge. I gave the order, knock out the biggest bridge in, I believe, the Middle East, but the biggest bridge in Iran. And within 10 minutes after I gave that order, that bridge was over. So do I want to do that? No. Do I want to destroy their infrastructure? No. It will take them 100 years to rebuild. Right now, if we left today, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and it would never be as good as it was. And the only way they're going to be able to rebuild their country is to utilize the genius of the United States of America.
You voiced your displeasure with NATO in the past. Is there a danger to the U.S. not being the de facto of the leader of the alliance, and then other powers within the alliance then getting the decision making when it comes to wars and nuclear weapons?
No, it's not a danger. Look, we went to NATO. I didn't ask very
Yeah, me
strongly.
too, Mark.
They
And I
said,
mean,
"Hey, if you want to help,"
that's when
right?
you know this
No,
guy's
no,
serious,
we will not
right?
help. I said, "That's all right. You don't want to help?" Because I've always said NATO's a paper tiger. See, NATO's a paper tiger.
And one of the
Putin's not
first
afraid of
guys to
NATO.
actually stand
Putin's
up and
afraid
just
of
tell it
us,
like it
very
is
afraid
to
of
those
us.
guys, for sure.
And he's explained it to me a lot of times. I got to know him very well. I know him very well. NATO's a paper tiger. NATO is us. And when we needed them, but we didn't need them, by the way. We didn't need them, obviously, because they haven't helped at all. Just the opposite. They've actually gone out of their way not to help. They didn't even want to give us landing strips. Think of it. And it's not just NATO. You know who else didn't help us? South Korea didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Australia didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Japan. We've got 50,000 soldiers in Japan to protect them from North Korea. We have 45,000 soldiers in South Korea to protect us from Kim Jong-un, who I get along with very well, as you know. Do you notice he said very nice things about me? He used to call Joe Biden a mentally retarded person, okay? So don't tell me about your stuff. Joe Biden, he said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was terrible. But to me, he likes Trump. And do you notice how nice things are with North Korea? It's very nice. But we have 45,000 people, soldiers, in harm's way, and right next to Kim Jong-un with a lot of nuclear weapons. 45, which should have never happened if a certain president, I'm not going to mention this president because I happen to like him, believe it or not, but if a certain president did his job, Kim Jong-un would not have nuclear weapons right now. But they were all afraid to do their job properly. But just to conclude and just to finish, Japan didn't help us, Australia didn't help us, South Korea didn't help us, and then you get to NATO. NATO didn't help us. There were some countries that did. Now, countries that have been good, now you could also say they're got to be a little bit more involved because they're in the territory, but Saudi Arabia has been excellent, Qatar has been excellent, UAE has been excellent, Bahrain, Kuwait. I mean, Kuwait did shoot down 3 of our planes. The only planes, really, that we lost with friendly fire, they call it. I call it unfriendly fire. They unfortunately didn't know how to use our great Patriots. The pilot said, what kind of a missile's coming at us? Patriot. Boom, they got out. Because they know a Patriot never misses. So they had beautiful Patriots. There were planes heading in their direction. Unfortunately, they decided to shoot those planes. They were our planes. So, no, NATO is a paper tiger. Now, he's coming to see me on Wednesday, as you know. He's a wonderful guy. Secretary General is great. And Mark Rutte, he's a great person, but he's got, and you know, it all began with, if you want to know the truth, Greenland. We want Greenland. They don't want to give it to us, and I said, bye-bye. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
What about rising gas prices for Americans who are concerned? General King, how are you?
Heads up.
Back to our regularly scheduled program. What's up, Iron Gaming? Where you been, buddy? What's your storyline telling us? Yeah, me neither, Mark. I mean, is this rounding down to go down, or, I mean, after that previous candle right there, I want to say this is going to be a good pump up.
on tide, master the momentum, lightning in the night. Sharp mind swing where the wild winds blow, turning all the whiplash into solid gold. Trade the future on the moment under these neon halos. Precision in the chaos, yeah, that's how this cowboy rolls. That's how this cowboy rolls.
Okay, so you don't get to do any trading today then, Iron Gaming. I'm up in XAU in 120 points running, and my target is 900 pips around, but market is very boring for real. Yeah, I bet if everything's closed over there for sure too, right? I mean, making a nice little bull flag on the 5 minute, I think, right, guys? I mean, if it'll play out. ES is a nice little bull flag too. I like it a little bit better because it has the boxes support maybe if it gets that bounce, but there's no wick on the bottom of that one, but I don't hate that. Yeah, very boring for sure, Iron Gaming. 100% agree. Mark says it's starting to look bearish for him. Yeah, I like the 9 and 14 crossover, Mark. The only thing I'm not sure about is we gotta, I mean, yeah, if we keep breaking down for sure. But we got some support coming in right there. Kind of have that kind of setting up. And then ES is right there at the bottom. It just bounced off the 9. It's back above the box. I don't know. Yeah, see that little push up now? Iron Gaming says in Gold Daily storyline, he's expecting 4,800 entry, target 3,800. That would be crazy. I could see it though. Getting a little slow now, guys. I don't know. little short after that big wick. Is our bull flag playing out? Kinda, isn't it?
That's the deal I made with you. I don't chase, I don't panic, just do what I came here to do. Detach from the outcome, focus on the setup, like planting rows and trusting rain will come. Patience pays more than entries, like waiting on a harvest you can't rush. The chart is neutral, the trader must be to master yourself, then master the NQ. Used to white knuckle every red line, heart on fire with every little tick. Now I breathe like I'm out on the back porch swing. Let the fear fade slow, let the noise run thin. Calm hands on the mouse now, just a plan and a time of day. If it comes around. If it don't, I still walk away. Detach from the outcome, focus on the setup, like planting rows and trusting rain will come. Patience pays more than entries, like waiting on a harvest you can't rush. The chart is neutral, the trader must be to master yourself, then master the NQ. Some folks want the glory before they learn the ground. I just read my story, and every tick up, every pull back down. Detach from the outcome, focus on the setup, like planting rows and trust.
We're falling asleep, guys, over here.
Patience pays more than entries, like waiting on a harvest you can't rush. The chart is neutral, the trader must be to master yourself, then master the NQ.
Not gonna lie, I'm according to storyline NQ going to all-time high in some months. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we'd be pushing real hard right now if we weren't doing all this Iran stuff. So.
Coffee gone cold on a dead slam glove. Boots on the floor, but I don't leave home. Watching that open like a rodeo gate. Every tick bucking like it's sealing my fate. Got scars from the summers, the rally ran wild. Bears at the door, bulls acting like a child. They call me crazy, but I call it art. Ain't cute, not for the faint of heart. Fearless in the face of the NASDAQ, riding that screen like a wild Mustang. Volatility is my playground. I saddle that storm and I yank on the reins. I don't chase moves, I catch them. I wait in the weeds.
Because inline chart, there's no fresh level there in the weekly chart. Okay. Yeah, so on a larger time frame for sure, right?
Mama says, son, that ain't real land, but I'm staking out lines on a 5-minute span. Green, red candles like a ballroom fight. I'm calm
Little pop right there to kind of my little trend line.
like a holster tied to my side. Wrist small, aim tall, let the rest all right. If it hits my level, I play my part. NQ, not for the faint of heart. Fearless in the face of the NASDAQ, riding that screen like a wild Mustang. Volatility is my playground. I saddle that storm and I yank on the reins. Don't chase moves, I catch them. I wait in the weeds till the price comes to me.
Multi-time frame analysis. Nice, Iron Gaming. That's why we like you here, buddy. That's why we like you here.
Maybe it's skill,
Seems like there's not a thing happening.
Push through the lows, break through these EMAs. Take me lower with no bulls today. Push those candles down. Someone in queue. Let's go now. Let's ride it all the way to the bottom. Break that VWAP on down. Push those candles down. Red wave running through this town. Let's ride it all the way to the bottom. Break that VWAP. Come on down. Come on down. Come on down. Sun comes up on the tick chart glow. Coffee in a thermos, boots on the floor. Zero dawn nodding in that busted old hat says, boy, this open's what we came here for. Trading cowboy laps ain't my first rodeo. Gronky tonk man's humming low at the bar. Guitar guy, Yusef picks a dealing tune while Charles drives charge like a dusty old car. We're trader riding NASDAQ together in this wild
Still pointing up a little, huh? Kind of stair stepping a little bit.
R&B weather, new jack swing in his soul. Terminator calls, here comes the good news through the chop, we don't let go. Yeah, trader riding NASDAQ together.
Money you're on if you're just following ES, I guess.
Driving obsession taps his ring on the desk. Says one more pull back, then I'm done. Yeah. Marco singing sweet like a backroom choir while the spread runs off with everyone. Good news whispers like a back porch breeze. Bad ticks bite like a barbed wire fence. We tip our hats to the ones still holding every loss, every win, every cent. We're Trevor riding NASDAQs together in this flickering cattle drive show. Marco's got that R&B with a new jack swing in his flow. Oh yeah, Terminator smiles, here comes the good news through the chop, we still all roll. Yeah, trader riding NASDAQ together where the green candles glow.
What do you think? Short right here, stop above the top. 355s. We're just going to keep stair stepping up, bouncing off the 9 again. Can't really be short right now, can you?
Every tick bucking like a seal in my face. Got scars from the summers around.
Ace-Town tried twice with 4 cons. All right, I'm in, you crazy sucker. I'm in. uh, what's up, Zero Dawn? We're just trying not to fall asleep right now. It's been pretty calm, Zero Dawn. I mean, there's been a lot of movement and stuff, but we caught a 30-point trade while ago and a 25-point, 28-point trade, but just kind of trying to watch this bull flag, see if it's going to play out or not. Trump talked for quite a while, so really just been kind of boring right here the last 30 minutes or so. And yours? How's your day been? Yeah, it hadn't been bad, that's for sure, but it hadn't been quite the trading day you'd want. See, we just get those wicks down like that, then push right back up. They really want this bull flag to play out. I don't blame them. This outlaw's thinking about the short, though. Hello? Sorry, guys. It was good, Zero Dawn. I mean, we didn't really do much, so worked in the yard a little bit. Enjoyed the weekend. It's kind of cold Saturday, not a little warmer Sunday, but nice day overall. How was your Easter weekend? Did you get together with all your sisters?
chart, breathe again. Tiny little edge like a nail in a fence. Hold it every single day, that's what makes a ranch. I ain't that cowboy with the last second bet. I'm stacking small wins like a farmer's shed. Plan the trade, trade the plan, that's my Bible in my hand. Sing it out. Discipline's the only thrill I trust. Consistency beats the rush. Risk comes first, then I roll. Let the profits chase my soul. Data in my head like a Sunday hymn. I get NASDAQ level results from a honky-tonk discipline. Some folks pray for luck. I pray to keep my rules. Lord, save me from that FOMO and them late night fools. My edge ain't a secret, it's how I walk each day. Hard like a preacher, hands like a Texas day trade. Plan the trade, trade the plan, that's my Bible in my hand. Discipline's the only thrill I trust. That's all. Consistency beats the rush. Risk 'em first, then I roll. Let the profits chase my soul. Data in my head like a Sunday hymn. I get NASDAQ level results.
Got together with a gaggle of sisters. Also was blessed with a bathroom renovation at my grandmother's house. Jack of all trades, Zero Dawn.
My profits in the proof. Little cowboy of the NASDAQ. Singing risk and truth. Coffee cup ring on a legal path. Sun just climbing past the barn roof line. Ticker rolling like a freight train past, but I'm just watching, giving it time. Call mine, fast market. That's the deal I made with you. I don't chase, I don't panic. Just do what I came here to do. Detach from the outcome. Focus on the setup, like planting rows and trusting rain will come. Patience pays more than entries, like waiting on a harvest you can't rush. The chart is neutral, the trader must be to master yourself, then master the NQ. Used to white knuckle every red line, heart on fire with every little tick. Now I breathe like I'm out on the
She had a pipe burst under her tub, and I was lucky enough to be her designated and now remodeling her entire bathroom. Unfortunately, she has a basement instead of a crawl space. Oh, yeah, that makes it nice, right? No jackhammering, or you don't have to crawl underneath there.
Detach from the outcome. Focus on the setup, like planting rows and trusting rain will come. Patience pays more than entries, like waiting on a harvest you can't rush. The chart is neutral, the trader must be to master yourself, then master the NQ.
Nice push up, eh? I mean, crazy this is all the move we're getting right now. Power hour or what?
Alarm bell rings, screens light up, green and red like county fair eyes. Got my watch list, got my plan, ain't just throwing darts and hoping this time. Moving averages, cross a lane in, MACD talking about a shift in the wind. Volume jumping like a Friday crowd, ATR saying it's running wild now. I'm riding this chart like a back road line. Fibonacci on the dash as I watch that climb. Bollinger Bands like barbed wire tie. Volatility dancing and in the neon night. RSI says run too far. Momentum oscillators humming like a truck in a yard. Pivot points marked like fence post signs. Trend line holding as a ticker flies. 15-minute candle, first break of the day. You'll be hitting like a hometown parade. VY sitting like a center stripe. Price comes back and it feels just right. Trend reversals whispering maybe. Inversion in my gut say easy. I ain't chasing every flash and flame. Just another small win in a big long riding this chart like a back road line. Fibonacci on the dash as I watch that climb. Bollinger Bands like barbed wire tie. Volatility dancing in the neon night. RSI says run too far. Momentum oscillators.
Zero Dawn, I didn't get on with Greg this morning. I had a couple big meetings we had. Pretty good little deal going, but had a Zoom meeting and then a Google Meet meeting. Little stressful, little intense, but we got the job done, and let's say everything went really good. And we'll be able to tell you more about it tomorrow when everything's set up. But let's just say that one company you wanted to go and add on to your portfolio, we'll have some more news about it tomorrow. I don't want to say too much about it because I didn't get everything I wanted, so I'm having to rebrand some stuff. So we're going to have some different codes and stuff, so I'm trying to get some of them changed at other places. So
Sun comes up on the tick chart glow. Coffee and a thermos, boots on the floor. Zero Dawn nodding in that busted old hat says, boy, this opens what we came here for. Trading cowboy laughs ain't my first rodeo. Gronky tonk man's
most nervous I've been in a while, Zero Dawn, that's for sure.
guitar guy, Yusef picks a deal in tune while Charles drives Charles like a dusty old car. We're trading
Awesome, Zero Dawn. Yeah, and we got it. It'll all be set up, finalized tomorrow. Still got some paperwork to fill out and stuff, but I'd tell you today, but the one we talked about and the one that's on there right now is two different things, so. Bear flag forming on the 1, 5, and 15. Say less, Zero Dawn. I was trying to wait to see if it broke this little area right here. Give it at 314 on the 5. Yes, sir. I had my little deal set at 312. So what are you thinking, Zero Dawn? The only issue is power hour. Yeah, I know it, wasn't it? Is that what you caught this morning?
Sun up glow on a ticker screen, coffee gone cold, I still keen. Charts lined up like a cattle drive. I rope that move, make the numbers fly. Red turns green in a blank, blank, blank. Heartbeats count down, don't even think. Fast hands dance on a worn-out mouse. This little desk is my glass-walled house. Ride the NASDAQ, hanging on tight. Master the momentum, lightning in the night. Sharp mind swing where the wild winds blow. Turning all that whiplash into solid gold. Trade the future on the moment under these neon halos. Precision in the chaos, yeah, that's how this cowboy rolls. Stop loss set like a safety rail. Big risk grin, I don't fear the fail. Storm blows in from the afternoon. I hear that bell, gotta move real soon. Tick by tick, feel the old world fade. New frontier in the moves I made. Desk lamp glow, midnight run. Chasing that break like a rising sun. Ride the NASDAQ, hanging on tight. Master the momentum, lightning in the night. Sharp my swing where the wild winds blow. Turning all that whiplash into solid gold. Trade the future.
Didn't catch that move to the downside.
Some boys chase dust on an open plane. I chase that spike in a driving rain. Different saddle, same worn boots. I gamble my time on tomorrow's route. Oh yeah. Ride the NASDAQ, hanging on tight. Master the momentum, lightning in the night. Sharp mind swing where the wild winds blow. Turning all the whiplash into solid.
Got in at 362, EMS cross, and took profit at 300. You know, that's honestly a really good day, Zero Dawn. I mean, after what this market's given us today, the wicks we've had, that's pretty unmatched. I mean, to me, this wasn't a day you could just, with the knowledge and actually calling it trading, you could have snagged 100 points. Only trade. So you're itching pretty good, aren't you? Unfortunately, I'll be bouncing soon. I'll be able to play my favorite game, Risk It for the Biscuit, MOC. I get it, Zero Dawn. I'm going to have to jump off pretty soon, too, right at 3 o'clock probably, but it's just been so boring right now. We're not getting any value for sure.
Alarm bell ring, screens light up, green and red like county fair eyes. Got my watch list, got my plan, ain't just throwing darts and hoping this time. Moving averages across the lane in, MACD talking about a shift in the wind. Volume jumping like a Friday crowd, ATR saying it's running wild now. I'm riding this chart like a back road line. Fibonacci on the dash as I watch that climb. Bollinger Bands like barbed wire tie. Volatility dancing in the neon night. RSI says run too far. Momentum oscillators humming like a truck in the yard. Pivot points marked like
Well, thanks. Same to you, Zero Dawn. I'm glad you had a good trading morning other than not being able to trade as much as you want. So, tune in tomorrow for some new updates, huh?
VWAP sitting like a center stripe. Price comes back and it feels just right. Trend reversals whispering maybe. Inversion in my gut say easy. I ain't chasing every flashing flame. Just another small win in a big long game. I'm riding this chart like a back road line. Fibonacci on the dash as I watch that climb. Bollinger Bands like barbed wire tie. Volatility dancing in the neon night. RSI says
Shoot, finally got a 10-point push, guys.
humming like a truck in the yard. Pivot points marked like fence post signs. Trend line holding as a ticker flies. Could be red, could be green, it's alright. Wrist set tight, I can sleep at night. Oh yeah, just a farm kid reading candlesticks, turning little ticks into big life kicks. I'm riding this chart like a back road line.
I had a lot of self-control. I traded all the accounts on that trade. Go the entire way down. I did clinch during that move. Yeah, for sure. Wow. Yeah, I got 3 accounts traded today total, but like I said, I was off pretty much the whole morning. I watched. I think I made $200 before I got into my meetings, but hard to believe this is Power Hour, guys.
I'm the trading cowboy, stocks are my thing, and Q on the dashboard, hear that bell ring, bear flags, bull flags, I rope and I brand, this could be the best 8 seconds ever hit this land. Ride those candles, ride that run, long it to the highs, yeah, chase that sun, short it to the lows when the tide starts to set, this could be the best 8 seconds, yeah, yeehaw, I'm the trading cowboy, giddy up, catch that momentum, boy, stars look wild, I just
I think so, Zero Dawn. It's going to help benefit everybody, right? Help build the brand, build the channel. And trying to get it big enough, Zero Dawn, that you'll want to come on here and talk with us too. Yeah, for sure. I think this will help a little bit for sure, I think. Hey, I appreciate that, Zero Dawn. Really do. A minimum of 10K subs for me to show. All right, I'm going to take a screenshot of that, Zero Dawn. It's in the chat now. See, that's all I need the wife to tell me too. That way I can have a bucking bull. So.
Coffee cup ring on a legal pad. Sun just climbing past the barn roof line. Tickers rolling like a freight train past. But I'm just watching, giving it time. Call mine, fast market. That's a deal I made with you. I don't chase, I don't panic.
Getting closer to my bear flag trend lines on the time frames. Keep talking, Zero Dawn. Keep talking.
Let the fear fade slow. Let the noise run thin. Calm hands on the mouse now. Just a plan and a time of day if it comes.
I don't think I'll be here when they get triggered. Well, there's the drop. There it is. You're here. That's a whole 10 points. Entered at 340. You lucky devil.
Detach from the outcome. Focus on the setup. Like planting rows and trusting rain will come. Patience pays more than entries. Like waiting on a harvest you can't rush. The chart is neutral. The trader must be too. Master yourself. Then master the NQ. Up before the opening bell, screen glow on my face. Got lines drawn all over that chart, like a road map to some place. Red, green, flicker and fight, candles dancing in a row. I've been studying this storm all night, just waiting for it to blow. I'm just trading my heart on a Friday. Risking it all on a little uptick. Yeah, I'm counting on us.
Like that every time.
Hoping this run's gonna really stick. If love's just numbers and faith in the plan, then baby, you're my favorite trade I ever ran. Win or lose, I keep coming back to you. Trading my heart, that's what I do. You laugh when I talk about trends, say I live inside that screen. But girl, when you walk in the room, you
Let's see if it pushes back into these EMAs. They're starting to curl up now a little bit. The 5, they're still spread apart.
that turns out true. Every pattern I thought I knew got rewritten when I met you. I'm just trading my heart on a Friday, risking it all on a little.
Top 2 points in the green. That's what it's been doing all day. That's why it's been hard to even trade any of this.
Hoping this run's gonna really stick. If love's just numbers and faith in the plan, baby, you're my favorite trade I ever ran. Win or lose, I keep coming back to you. Trading my heart, that's what I do. Some days I'm up, some days I'm down. Fear and hope spinning me around. But you're that steady line through the wild.
Just no follow through.
Into a child. All you do, I'm just trading my heart.
4 minutes to MOC, guys.
Risking it all on a little uptick. Oh, yeah, I'm counting on us like a breakout. Hoping this run's gonna really stick. If love's just numbers and faith in the plan, baby, you're my favorite trade I ever ran. Win or lose, I keep coming back to you.
All right, Zero Dawn. We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow, right?
Cowboy's prize. Gate clangs loud and the field explodes. Hoof beats drum like a ticker load. I'm long on hope, short on fear. He yells, ride smart, that payoff's near. Past the infield, crowd starts to roar, charting each turn like a candle board. I see his grin at the final bend. Lock it in, kid, let it run to the end. We're racing the futures, neck and neck. Hearts on the line, money on the check. Dust in our teeth, numbers in our eyes. First to that rail takes the trade and Cowboys prize. Yeah, racing the futures, holding tight, bidding on daylight, riding through the night. Win by nose or a wild long slide.
Nice little bull flag playing out now. MOC in 50 seconds.
Flag drops down. Did I break out? Did I hold that ground? He tips his brim, says, kid, just said, you bet the run, and the run paid the bet. Racing the futures, neck and neck. Hearts on the line, money on the check. Dust in our teeth, numbers in our eyes. First to that rail takes the trade and Cowboys prize. Yeah, racing the futures, holding tight, bidding on daylight, riding through the night. Win by nose or a wild long slide for that trade and Cowboys prize. For that trade and Cowboys prize. Boots on the desk, coffee ring on the blotter. Sun ain't up yet, but I'm hunting for dollars. Got my head tipped low, screen glow hitting my eyes. A little heat in my cheeks as the future starts to rise. Charts are like canyons, red dust on the line. I'm roping in those breakouts, one tick at a time. Finger on the trigger, heart on the wire. Every little flicker feeds that fire. Push NASDAQ, push those candles. Green, let's rip, let's ride, you know what I mean. Kick that open, wide screen saloon. Yeah, we shout yee-ho to the moon. High speed horses on a fiber trail, clicking these trades like we're chasing tail. Push NASDAQ, push those candles. Green, let's rip, let's ride, live the screen door dream. Got my watch list loaded like a bell full of rounds. When that volume stampedes, you can feel it shake the ground. Oh yeah. Chat room talking like campfire talk at night. We're telling tales of a limit feels we barely survive. Win streaks, whipsaw. Same old song, one good runner and I'm right back on. Push NASDAQ, push those candles. Green, let's rip, let's ride, you know what I mean. Kick that open, wide screen saloon. Come on, we shout yee-haw to the moon. High speed horses on a fiber trail, clicking these trades like we're chasing tail. Push NASDAQ, push those candles. Green, let's rip, let's ride, live the screen door dream. I've been stopped out, locked out, flat in the dust, but I saddle up it open, turn that fin to trust. When that trend line bends and the sky turns blue, I'm a cold rig cowboy riding straight on through. Push NASDAQ, push those candles. Green, let's rip, let's ride, you know what I mean. Kick that open, wide screen twice, be the market too. Yellow legal pad full of scribble lines. Got a rule for the risk and a rule for the grind. Ain't chasing tickers like a rodeo clown. I mark my level, then I stand my ground. Plan the trade, trade the plan. That's my Bible in my hands. Oh yeah, discipline's the only thrill I trust. Consistency beats the rush. Risk 'em first, then I roll. Let the profits chase my soul. Data in my head like a Sunday. Him I get NASDAQ level results from a honky-tonk discipline. Buddy's on the phone, man, it's running hop in. I just sip slow, let the chart breathe again. Tiny little edge like a nail in a fence. Hold it every single
Little bounce off that 344 area, kind of.
I ain't that cowboy with the last second bet. I'm stacking small wins like a farmer's shit. Plan the trade, trade the plan. That's my Bible.
Here comes our next 255 candle, or 55 MOC now. See what it does.
Let the profits chase my soul. Data in my head like a Sunday. Him I get NASDAQ level results from a honky-tonk discipline. Some folks pray for luck. I pray to keep my rules. Lord, save me from that FOMO and them late night fools. My edge ain't a secret, it's how I walk each day. Hard like a preacher, hands like a Texas day trade. Plan the trade, trade the plan. That's my Bible in my hand. Discipline's the only thrill I trust. That's all. Consistency beats the rush. Risk 'em first, then I roll. Let the profits chase my soul. Data in my head like a Sunday. Him I get NASDAQ level results. That's all. From a honky-tonk discipline. Discipline. Yeah, my edge is my process. My profits in the proof. Little cowboy of the NASDAQ, singing risk and truth.
Big old fat nothing burger, guys. Wow.
Push through the highs, bust through these EMAs, take me higher, beat these bears. Push those candles, get up there. Hey, come on in, Q, giddy up. Yeah, yeah. Let's ride it all the way to the top. New bar, new charge, we never stop. Let's go, let's ride. Coffee on, screen is glowing, sun comes up, numbers going, little green flicker on the side, got that itch for
Little push and right back down.
push those candles, push it NASDAQ, stack it higher, never look back, let's go, let's ride, yeah, push those candles, chase that sky, click that ticker, watch it fly, let's go. Let's ride.
EMAs are crossing over, looking good. Let's see if we get a small push. Let's see if we can attack this short, maybe. I don't know.
Push those candles, push it NASDAQ, stack it higher, never look back, let's go. Let's ride. Yeah, push those candles, chase that sky, click that ticker, watch it fly, let's go. Let's ride. Oh, push through the highs, bust through
Nice little push off that 340 area. See if it rejects here or if we get a little push. Crazy. Here comes 3 o'clock. Market closed.
Sleep at night. Oh yeah, just a farm kid reading candlesticks, turning little ticks into big life kicks. I'm riding this chart like a back road line. Fibonacci on the dash as I watch that climb. Bollinger Band like barbed wire tie. Volatility dancing in the neon night. RSI say it's run too far. Momentum oscillators humming like a truck in the yard. Pivot points marked like fence post signs. Trend line holding as the ticker flies.
What's up, Miguel? Just fixing to break out of here, buddy. Just watching the very end close. You still up for the day, Huge?
Take me lower. Whip those bulls today. Push those candles down. I'm on NQ. Let's go now. Let's ride it all the way to the bottom. Break that VWAP. Come on down. Push those candles down. Redway running through this town. Let's ride it all the way to the bottom. Break that VWAP. Come on down. Come on down.
All right, guys. Not a bad day. Not the best day. Up 1,500 on one account. Up 300 on one. 363. Up 500. Got 2 of them. I lost about 300 a piece in. I messed up 3 contracts and blew my eval. Miguel, you were doing so good, Miguel. Come on, Miguel. Come on, baby. We got to have you, man. Should have stopped trading, but you know how that is, Miguel. I know exactly how that is, brother. Exactly. Tomorrow's a new day, though. We got to learn from this, right? That's the whole process. We got to learn from what we just did. Heck yeah, my friend. That's what we're here learning, right? Get bucked off, we got to get back on. All right, guys, let's break it out. Tomorrow going to be way better, right, Miguel? We're going to have some more stuff coming up. Y'all stay tuned. Maybe we'll have some better news tomorrow I can talk to y'all about. Remember, as we go through today, to be humble and grateful. Walk in love with each other, for everybody around you. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love is what Ephesians says. So go out, do that today. Hug your loved ones. Remember, the Trading Cowboy loves you. There's nothing you can do about it. We'll see y'all in the morning, bright and early, sink or swim. Giddy up, guys. TC out.
When the market gets wild, only one man rides it, the Trading Cowboy.
Boots on the floor, screen lights glow. Chart like an open road, get it up, let's go. I'm the Trading Cowboy, stocks are my thing, and Q on the dashboard, hear that bell ring. Bear flags, bull flags, a rope and I brand. This could be the best 8 seconds ever hit this land. Ride those candles, ride that run, long into the highs, yeah, chase that sun. Short it to the lows when the tide starts to set. This could be the best 8 seconds, yeah, yeehaw. I'm the Trading Cowboy, giddy up, catch that momentum, boy. Charts look wild, I just grin. One more trade, let the rodeo begin.
When the market